Hello everyone and welcome back to ESL Challenger League Season 47 in EU. We've got more of the high seed group to come tonight. This is of course the group you get into by placing top 2 in the group stage. And it's actually a really important game between Sinners and 3D Max. I've got Dean alongside me for this one. Should be a fun one because both these two teams are on some good win streaks right now.
Yeah, 7 and 6 best of 3 win streaks respectively, I believe. Sinners with the 7 there. So yeah, as you said, both have been performing incredibly well. This is the match that can put one of them straight in towards that upper bracket semi-final as well, which will put you obviously not too far away from getting in towards that grand final and potentially picking up a victory. So it can definitely skip a lot of unnecessary steps. But as you said, this is the best of the best right now that are going to be playing each other. So I'm expecting a real showdown.
Yeah, and of course, Pro League spots on the line as well, which is going to be very interesting to see which two teams eventually do make it, because it is pretty stacked, of course, at this stage. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we get there. And this is actually the little graphic we have to show you. It is a little bit simplified in this one, as you can see. Basically, playoff upper bracket and playoff lower bracket. They are kind of the same bracket in a way. But yeah, as you can see, if you get to the upper bracket portion where you can see Sinners and 3D Max, the team will be watching tonight right there. As you rightly pointed out, the winner of that game skips one round. So yeah, very helpful to get that little bit of extra help. Movistar Koi and Rush B are in the other portion of the upper bracket. I had the chance to cast Movistar Koi versus Aurora yesterday. And yeah, I think it was actually a bit of a surprising result. Aurora weren't really on form, which the form we've kind of expected of them as of late. Movistar Koi stepped up brilliantly and had a brilliant T-side on Overpass to actually close out that game 2-0. So great chance for them against Rush B coming in today. In our lower bracket, of course, seeing 9 Pandas and Saw in that position. Actually, I would argue they're two of the favourites probably. Obviously, after both performing really well in the recent RMRs, Saw making the major, 9 Pandas technically making the major, but unfortunately not being able to play. So yeah, for them to be in the lower bracket there, it's a bit unfortunate for both of them.
Yeah, ranked 16 and 21 respectively. Both, I believe, ranked higher than the teams we're covering right now on the HLTV rankings. Yeah, by actually a considerable amount. We've got 3D Max at number 39 and Sinners at number 49. Obviously, those numbers don't always mean a lot, especially as you go further down. The small number of points, rather, can make a pretty big difference. And sometimes it can just be about the activity of the team and how often they play as well. But it does go to show you, as you said, that two very, very strong teams are down in that lower bracket and they are not going to be given up. They have that chance still to fight their way through. It's just going to take an extra best of 3, as we said. But yeah, the comfort, I think, of one of these teams right now being able to take that best of 3 win and head straight in towards the semi-finals, as you said, will be just a bit of weight off the shoulders of both teams. But it is not going to be an easy task. This best of 3, as we said, is going to be a streak breaker for whichever one of these teams goes home empty-handed.
Exactly. It's not just a 7-match win streak for Sinners and a 6-match win streak for 3D Max. It's 9 out of the last 10 for Sinners and 8 out of the last 9 for 3D Max. Only one blip in between that streak. So, yeah, kind of crazy. Usually, historically, whichever team this has been, really, for 3D Max, whether it's Heat, whether it's when they were looking for Org, after losing the organisation of Heat, as we can look at our matchup right now, they've actually yet to play this year, and that might make a difference in terms of timings in this, of course, because, as I said, whatever roster they've had, this 3D Max team, whatever organisation they've been under, they have kind of usually come out on top against Sinners. But this time, as far as I understand, I'm pretty certain today they're playing with Gravity, because Haji recently got benched. So we'll have to see. I'm pretty sure that should be the case. So yeah, very curious to see how that will work out for 3D Max today.
Yeah, I won't lie, I'm not fully aware of the circumstances. I haven't been following all the teams as closely in recent times as I probably should have been. But yeah, as I was looking, of course, Gravity is their newest addition. He seems to be kind of just rolling straight out of the gate as well. He's actually been one of their highest rated players over those, I think, 14 maps he's played with them so far. So he's a promising player, one that I hadn't heard of in the past, either of them, being honest. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. But Haji is not an easy player to replace. He can have a lot of impact. Even if his form in most recent times maybe hadn't been the best, he is one of those players that just brings a lot to a team.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, actually, I always really liked Hadji. I thought he was very talented. I suppose it's not all about individual skill, though. I'm guessing the team, maybe a few other aspects that 3D Max weren't entirely happy with. Who knows? I am not in the know about that one, but yeah, I hope Hadji lands on his. I hope Hadji lands on his feet. But yeah, Gravity is probably one of my favourite choices, at least from what I've seen from him as of late. At least in this sort of tier 3 space. Unfortunately, that was kind of the teams he'd been on. I think he was on LDLC. For a little bit before he went to Gen 1, I think it was. Quite low tier, really, and I think Gravity was always quite a pretty decent shining light in that team, so in those teams, I should say. So yeah, good to see him getting a little bit of an upgrade, and I hope he does well. Obviously, I don't think it's absolutely permanent yet. I did have a little bit of a look into this. I don't think it's permanent as far as I understand.
A bit of a trial going on.
But maybe a bit of a trial, yeah. And then when it comes to Sinners, it's actually kind of same old for Sinners, right? I mean, Neofrag's back on the team. This is the kind of level we know he can play really, really well at after his, a little bit of an upgrade he had on OG, for example. He was a bit hot and cold on OG. We can know in particular he can be great, as I said, at this level. But Oscar, Dean, he's still fragging at 32 and he's loving life.
Yeah, I mean, Oscar has just always been around as long as I've been playing CS, only since like 2014, so not that long. I mean, it's nearly 10 years now.
10 years.
When do I get my 10-year medal, actually? I've got to check that out, see what the date is. But yeah, he's been around as long as I can remember. And even back then, he was already known as a veteran. So I think we need some special tag at this point for Oscar, just to show how dedicated to this game and the previous games he has been. He's just always been around. He's always making an impact. Even when he has a period of bad form, he always somehow manages to rise again, no matter the change in circumstances with the game even changing massively, meta changing massively time and time again. He is clearly an incredibly adaptable player. And another thing is the fact that he tends to stick with his fellow countrymen. The amount of talent that he has brought up within this region must be incredible.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he's definitely, without a doubt, an inspiration from back then, for sure. I believe we've got some talent predictions to talk about as well. I'm going for sort of recent, and I think when we both spoke about this before we went live, it's very fair to say this is a very 50-50 matchup, I think, between these two on current form. But historically, matchup-wise, it kind of seems to go 3D Max's way. So that's why I've picked 3D Max as my winner for this game. And I think you have gone the opposite way.
Yeah, we were kind of, it was a coin toss. I was going to say time toss. But yeah, it was a coin toss, obviously, for as we were saying before. I decided to go with Sinners just because I do think, especially if Neofrag shows up, that could maybe give them a slight edge, but I feel like that might be kind of the win condition. So I'm going to edge us slightly towards Sinners, but I do think 3D Max could just as likely come in and take the victory. But I do believe we're probably looking at a 3-map series at the very least. I don't think either team is going to give up very easily.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's been a very consistent pattern between these two particular teams. That's been the case. But yeah, I think obviously in these sort of games, it kind of does depend on who sort of turns up on the day. We spoke about Oscar and his AWP looking superb. We've also got Maka, of course, as well. And he's the AWP IGL for this team. I've seen Lucky pick it up too, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Maka looks against Oscar today. I believe we've got other few bits and pieces ready to talk about as well in terms of Vita and bits and pieces like that as well. We should be curious as well because we actually don't know exactly how it will pan out in that sense. But our player to watch, of course, we've already spoken about him a little bit. That is Oscar. As I said, still 32, still highest rated player on the team, still fragging, still has a very respectable AWP kill ratio, of course, at this level too. He can still take over games too, which is impressive now. And yeah, we want to see more of that from him today.
Yeah, definitely. And as you said, Maka on the opposing side has also been in really good form lately. So it's not going to be easy for either of them, but I think we could have a very strong AWP battle coming in depending on what sort of map lineup we actually get. Of course, for the face-off, which I think we'll probably be finding out soon enough.
Yes, we're ready
indeed.
To see it
We
right
do
now.
just have the confirmation now, yeah.
Lovely.
So we'll have that popping up.
Yeah, so I'm going to look at it right now.
There
So
we go.
3D Max have gone for Ancient, and that's a map that they've been very happy to play in recent times. Ancient is a map that's kind of overtaken Inferno in the pool, a sort of a map where everyone is happy to play it almost at this stage, other than a few select S-tier teams at the top of the game. Nuke has always been a great home for Sinners, and if we do go to Overpass, that is actually a great middle ground map between these two. I've seen both of them play it quite a lot. Obviously, it's very AWP central. We've spoken about the Maka versus Oscar fight. This is going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Ancient, I think is going to be a pretty strong one for both teams. 3D Max's stats are a little bit weaker, but they also do play it a ton. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of experience in there. Moving on towards Nuke, I think, is where the experience edges out for Sinners as well as the stats. So if you do see Ancient go Sinners' way, perhaps you could get that 2-0. Definitely not an easy game. I do think even if it ends up 2-0, we'd still have pretty close score lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, if you get towards Overpass, then that's where both teams don't have quite as much experience, and we can maybe have a bit more of a brawl on our hands. And especially with it being a third map, I think that could be a fantastic way to end out the series if we manage to get that far.
Yeah, as I said, I've seen both these teams play Overpass. As I said, it can be a pretty good map for both of them in terms of just being middle ground brawl, like you say. So that should be fun. Recently, in all the games I've done, looking at paper stats has kind of been a bit of a curse, because every single, even like ridiculous map streak that a certain team has had, maybe they've won a map like 7 times in a row or something, every single paper stat that I've looked at has been counteracted when I've casted them. Maybe I'm the curse for some of these teams not being able exactly, for some of these teams not being able to keep their streak going. So, well, we've got Sinners on the 7-match win streak and 3D Max on a 6-match win streak. So one streak's going to have to end today, and one streak's going to have to continue. So at least one staying intact. But yeah, I think this has third map kind of written all over it for me.
Yeah, I'm optimistic, honestly, because I haven't been covering too many games. We only get that one a night as well, so I'm at the moment I'm fingers crossed for a very entertaining series to come, and I am hopeful that that's what we're going to get. If both teams actually show up in the form that we know they're capable of, then we should have a fantastic, a fantastic match on our hands, and all the motivation for both of these teams to perform is definitely there as well.
Yeah, exactly. I apologise if I do have a little bit of a cough going on right now, so I might have to mute myself in certain occasions.
You've given it to me over the camera.
Exactly. Somehow. Like you just that's why we had a little giggle, wasn't it? Because we were just speaking beforehand about how my voice was not exactly at full strength, but we power through. For the love of Counter-Strike, of course, and for the love of this game, it should be a good one. But it looks like we should be getting started very soon as well, according to production. So hopefully only a couple of minutes until we're ready. So yeah, I think this is actually going to be a pretty good matchup, purely because there's actually quite a lot on the line as well. Sure, no one's getting eliminated, but to have that win, which pushes you straight through to the semi-finals and avoids an extra matchup, it's very helpful, at least in the state of online Counter-Strike right now, of course, where the saturation of matches, there can be some clashes that would be annoying, so one less match means a lot.
Yeah, definitely, and as you said, it's only those top 2 spots that manage to actually move forward. There's a decent amount of cash, even down to like, what, 9th and 10th place get $3,000. It's not tons, but it's a little bit up towards the top though. 15,000 for first place, 10,000 for second place. It's small amounts, but on top of potentially getting the Pro League spot, if you do get one of those top 2 places, it's gonna end up in a night of celebration, I'd imagine.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so it looks like while we wait those couple of minutes to get this game underway, we're going to go to a very quick break. When we're back, straight into the opening map. Okay, we're straight into the action between Sinners and 3D Max. So we actually got ourselves into a 1v1 by the looks of things, but I think maybe the HUD's wrong. I think maybe it's a Shock 1 versus 2. I believe so. Lucky and Jocko could be about to catch him out on the angle, but they don't check it in time. Shock has a chance at this one now. He can isolate these fights. Oh, did he just hit one bullet and dink both of them at the same time? He's taken Lucky. He's got a chance now to take the last as well, and he stops Jocko from going past the angle. It looks like it was some team damage in there, as Lucky gets a damage assist in the kill feed. So I think it actually was Lucky tagging up Jocko with his own shot. They line up, and that's a great start for Sinners.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a ton to break down. We did miss the start of the round.
Yeah.
Played out. I'm imagining it was pretty quick, and then it was kind of difficult to follow with the HUD. As you said, we weren't 100% sure, but yeah, we did see a team assist, I believe, up on the kill feed there in the end as well. So it manages to work out in the end, of course, for Sinners, despite, well, looked like it was going to be a bit of a round loss. And it's heavy on the SMGs. Ton of MP9s, they get some utility, but honestly not all that much, so I think they're going to try and force the fight here, get right in the faces of 3D Max and just set the pace for this best of 3.
Yeah, I always do like Sinners, watching them play. They're always quite a fun team to watch. They're very high clutch ability, it feels like, on this team, which is always fun.
The B aggression, though, I was going to say, if they had pushed quick there onto A, it might have paid off with just a single MP9, but they've left it a little bit too long now. Assistance has come in, B-Stick's in play, and, well, if this Galil finds a kill, maybe they still have some hope, but really it does depend on Maka popping off.
B-Stick, ready for the Glock to come his way. The Galil is going to be baited in, and actually it works out for that kill, and AGT is in a bit of trouble. I think he'll be quite happy with the fact he got 2 there. Moscow has kind of relaxed the situation slightly, dealing with gravity, so 2 MP9s have been picked up. And another plant will come through, which is very helpful for that economy. But Shock is here. He's ready to go. Lucky's going to get gooshed up with, of course, no armor. Which means that aim punch is a problem. And that's an easy 2-0 start for Sinners in the end.
Yeah, and a clutch position there as well from AJT to actually manage to pull off the 2 kills. He was fairly low on bullets, I believe, by the time he even got that first kill. The second player swings wide, and I mean, he just about manages it. If he didn't, that probably would have played out differently towards the end there. The bomb plant would have went down a lot easier. There wouldn't have been as quick of a rotation, with potentially even the ability for that deeper CT push to come in. So he did kind of save the day. Either way, now they're heavy onto the rifles. A good bit of damage was done, so you do see 3D Max buying straight back into this.
Bomb plant certainly helped, especially with the kills they managed to take. Crazy how that one Galil really made such a big difference in getting that bomb plant and making this buy or this, at least this buy being better, a possibility.
It's pretty good. I mean,
not a bad call from 3D Max in that sense. Not often you see that, right? Just one hero Galil.
Yeah. Really good utility as well. It's on par, if not better, than the buy that Sinners have, so it definitely made sense to put the buy in here. And you can see Sinners don't know what to expect right now because 3D Max just haven't really given away what they're working with. See a big exchange here though in the caves. Nice little bait and switch set up, but the timing is horrible for Shock. Caught with the flash in hand. Joko manages to just about get that kill before he goes down as well, with a dink being received. Lucky follows up with another frag on Neo frag, and Sinners are just not finding any success in this round. 3D Max have come alive as soon as they've got the guns in hand. See whether Joko manages this kill here. He's already low health, so at best I'm expecting a trade, and there you go, Maka manages to pull it off. So yeah, I mean, a pretty successful round. AJT at this point should probably be looking to save this M4. I don't think 3D Max will be all that willing to hunt it down either.
Yeah, all 3 shots there from 3D Max in Jaguar. The brawl, well, they were clean as anything. You know, the damage that was taken wasn't really significant. We'd expect maybe more from that little setup that Sinners had, but when 3D Max hits shots like that, then yeah, not really much you can do. Gravity with the opening. Jocko was holding his teammate's hand and managed to easily take the refacing player. no trade possibility for Sinners, and AJT, I should say, is forced to save.
I didn't want to call you out on it.
Yeah, don't worry. I know when I'm wrong.
America's Got Talent.
Yeah, I know when I'm wrong when I misstep the G and the J sometimes in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's very obvious. Any small mistake when you're a caster, you fixate on it, don't you? So
I noticed it in, I think it was the first round, and then I just immediately forgot till you said it again. Because it wasn't a big deal. It was just like, yeah, not quite what it was. It kind of made me think, oh, I better not make that same mistake, because I
there you
well
go.
have. Yeah.
I've got you. In a weird way, I've got you.
Exactly.
That's one way to throw that deep
Zero
nade.
mistakes.
Wow. That was.
Yeah. Didn't do a ton of damage, but it could if someone was trying to run straight in for that mid pick. Timing on that MP9 spray, unfortunately. They're going to be focused there on this mid control, and well, there is some presence around both Sniper's Nest and also Donut. It's Oscar and the Op, though, they've definitely got to be worried about, but a good placed nade could do serious damage, and they do have a few in play.
You'd still favour 3D Max in a round like this, though. Oscar, as we say, has the AWP out, but in that glass cannon, he right now is a little bit disconnected from the action, of course, just keeping an eye on Red Room and the possibility of 3D Max wandering up, which could be very real with Gravity in the position he was in, but he's gone back to Temple now to focus on A. Neofrag will be boosted up silently onto the grass. It looks like preparing for a proper split here. Maybe one through Red Room as a lurk and the rest through Donut.
Been slowed by this utility, though. There's none really left apart from a flash and a HE, but it put them in a very pressurized situation indeed. And AJT, yeah, there we go, managed to get a quick double once again from that position where he excelled in the second round. Well, this time he's the only man on his team to go down. It is cleaned up elsewhere. Neofrag, while blinded, even gets that final kill assisted by Oscar's flash.
Yeah.
It is a quick return to leave 3D Max once again wallowing. It's going to be a similar buy, though, to the one they had success with in that previous round. So they should come back swinging.
So I tend to just double check to see if, pronunciations are okay, if there's anything obvious that I've got wrong, maybe someone in chat saying something. Someone has. We have an easier option for AJT. Apparently it's pronounced 8.
8,
okay. ATE, which makes sense because often the J is silent, isn't it? So yeah, it's that makes it a lot easier, so thank you very much for that. RLKXY is the guy who was provided that information, so you get a shout out for being so very kind. Thank you.
Yeah, no, 3 syllables, it just wasn't cutting it. It doesn't flow when you're trying to...
I know, right?
Play by playing.
Exactly. I've casted Sinners before, and I have said AJT, and no one's corrected me, so... For the person who's finally corrected me, thank you very much.
Probably been a bunch of people who were like, oh, I can't be arsed logging in to tell them this. But they're secretly raging. Hey,
Maybe.
Anyway, we're back into the game. We've got to focus on this. That deep molly, I believe, popped a little bit high, so I don't think it blocked the push towards Cave as they had planned. Meaning Shock is going to be alone. Could be challenged pretty soon. Again, though, I believe they've just put that smoke down to focus in on the mid control instead. Taking quite a bit of damage. I believe he had to fall back through the molly as well. Down to 32. Although he managed to dish out quite a bit as well that I wasn't fully aware of, I presume, from nades.
Yeah, lots of damage. 8 down to 32, Gravity 19, Jocko 20, and for 3D Max in this situation, of course, after you just lost the previous round, such an early stage of the game, money's not been built up. And very limited utility right now as well, of course. Smoke. One of them has been used off the back of Gravity, couple of flashes, one Molotov. Now, what do you do here? Do you put the low HP players in first to get the high HP players to trade you? Or do you just try and win a duel with your healthy player to keep the numbers intact? That is the question. 8 is ready, but thankfully, for 3D Max's sake, he is the one that's low.
still manages a kill, even if it was on one of the low health players. It keeps the numbers equal for the moment, gives them a chance now to begin rotating, and with Neofrag still in position, cutting off that mid lurker. Actually get a man up now. Decent position to try and kick off this retake from. They've got most of the players already in position. Shock manages to catch Maka before he can actually get himself into a spot that was well covered off. Trying to catch one, I guess, from that off angle. It just doesn't pay off for him. Even Lucky and Exercise now in a very difficult spot. Lucky taking contact, hoping that they wouldn't be fully aware of Exercise's position. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And Oscar locking it down. A shoulder comes around the corner, and that is plenty. No old man reflexes in play. He is still in the prime of his life. And he would be in anything else other than CS, so I don't know why we consider it to be. If you're as dedicated as Oscar is, then you're still going to have them skills, man.
Listen, like, at the end of the day, everyone knows that people will pick up on Oscar being 32, right? But reality dictates it's young. That's a young age, and it's not a big deal. Look how many players at the top of Counter-Strike still performing incredibly well, getting to big finals. I mean, Rain is a great example. Carrigan, of course. Like, Carrigan can still have his occasional pop-off game in a big match for FaZe in an arena, right? Which is incredible considering the roles he puts himself in for FaZe. Anyway, Sinner's looking good. 4-1 up on CT Ancient. And 3D Max back down to pistols again as we rush in toward mid.
Neofrag had a perfect position. Unfortunately, while blinded, he started that spray a bit prematurely. Wasn't able to get it under control, and instead it is 8 who gets to just eat up those eco frags. It's going to be 5-1 for Sinners, and well, they're off to a tremendous start here on what is their opponent's map choice. And as I had said, if they can manage to pull off this victory here on Ancient, they will be primed for potentially that 2-0 on Nuke. I would be sitting with them as slight favourites, obviously depending on side starts and stuff. But I don't think 3D Max were hoping for their own map choice to kick off like this either way, so they've definitely got to pick it up real soon. Back on the rifles, I guess this is the time they can do it. Maka though, no op in play, it's just going to be the AKs. Look at this push.
Oh, B-Stick had a chance to pounce there. He needed at least the one, but Neofrag could still answer this one backward. And Oscar's found that pick in response too, so this 5v2 has turned into a 2v2 incredibly quickly.
And it's the two players we highlighted for Sinners as well. We pointed Oscar out as our player to watch, but we said Neofrag, he needed to perform as well if they were to get that victory. As Neofrag is left alone back on the bomb site. He's actually called in for assistance already, and Oscar's there. It was a perfect play. Neofrag takes that first kill, gets brought low, sure, but just turns around immediately and hightails it, knowing that very likely he is going to be chased. They won't be ready for Oscar to be in position so quickly as well, and it's just a free frag at that point. 6-1. It's a close round. We've had a decent number of close rounds already, but that doesn't matter if 3D Max cannot start getting them over that finish line.
Not wrong.
I mean, on the plus side, there's barely any money in the bank for Sinners, so 3D Max definitely can still break them, but for now they're stuck with pistols to do so.
It's these sort of rounds that Sinners have to be careful on, though, of course, because these are so very dangerous. And it's what can maybe spiral a very successful CT half. Using to pistols is always frustrating for any CT defense. Ike's in position. He's got some work to do. Manages to get himself 1 and 2. And he keeps himself alive as well. Great utility usage. He's got up to 12 kills in this game. Could make it more. There's 13. Refacing with the P2000. I would prefer to see a reload of the M4 before he goes in for more. And actually he'll get punished for that. So there we go.
Many people consider 13 to be an unlucky number, so I wouldn't have re-peeked right there with only a pistol. Just saying. I don't consider myself superstitious, but he was asking for that.
True, true.
Lucky with an M4 in hand, though, and already 2 kills. Who knows? Might live up to his name here. Does have the assistance of Gravity, who he said has performed quite well in his, what we presume to be trial games so far.
Yeah.
As the flash is perfect to take Oscar off the angle, but at the very least, the M4 wasn't quite able to get anything done with that, and now they just don't really have the time to do anything anymore. I think saving the M4 is an option, but they would have money with a loss bonus either way. not sure if he wants to do that indeed. They're just going to go for it, see if they can maybe cause some more damage, and
Yeah.
well, that's not going to happen, but as I said, it's better that they just died anyway.
Yeah, actually quite kind of smart from Oscar there, because one, the M4 in that position against the pistols gives him more maneuverability. Two, he knows he can pick it up again immediately, and of course the kill reward is a little bit more, right? So an extra $200 rather than getting an AWP frag. Every little helps, as they say.
Yeah, well, that one shop says.
Yeah, other shops are available. So apparently it's more like IT, as in AIGHT, rather than ATE.
Like saying, you know, I, like
I,
but in like
I.
like a mad accent. Yeah,
There
there
you go.
we go. You got what I was going for. I just couldn't do it, but you we're all good.
Alright. Yeah, it's a funny one. Apparently we shouldn't be taking it
alright.
personally because it's quite hard. Like, apparently
It
lots
is.
of Czech pronunciations are quite difficult.
And he just has to be having a good game, so we have to keep saying his name. He couldn't have
Exactly,
just chilled in the back, no?
Exactly. He's
Again.
having a great game, and he's not exactly one of the highest rated either, right? He's one of the guys we kind of spoke about beforehand, saying, well, if he steps up today, that'll be great to see, and so far he is. Can Beastic step up? He certainly can. Macca's ahead of the molly, and gets caught off guard. Thankfully, Jocko's there to answer back. Jocko can be one of the most explosive players on this 3D Max team. We need to see more from him in this game for 3D Max to answer back on this team side. Shot continuing to go aggressive, and he catches Gravity on the headshot line. That's lovely.
Yeah, not ideal. I thought he may have even lined himself up to double kill as the second head was creeping slowly into the crosshair. Didn't quite happen. Instead, it's a nade that furthers the pain for 3D Max and what is around that they really do need to win. This half is already completely spiraled out of control. Molly down a bit too soon, I'd say, they're in the cave, but either way, it reminds 3D Max that Sinners, they have the utility to spare, or potentially do, because they're not being too lax with using it right now. Time is beginning to tick down at this point, though, and they're going to go for a little bit of a boost at the bottom of the ramp. Oscar could be caught by this. They get this initial kill. Shock then in on the bomb site. Neofrag has a bit of a rotation to actually assist, so with the smokes down, they could still have a chance at getting through and getting that bomb down. Ah. Molly, though, is going to ruin their hopes, really.
More good work from Oscar. And just does everything right, doesn't he? Like, that is just the right thing to do. Even when he's got the AWP in that position. Shoulder pick the angle, try and bait your rifler in, and you can fall back behind the smoke and play a little bit safer. Lucky and Jocko, not exactly full health between the two of them. Jocko, 9 seconds for the plant. We'll try and get it down, but Neofrag pushing up closer, and look at this, Ite's already in position. Neofrag takes that one, as we thought he would. And 3D Max cannot get anything going on Ancient. And of course, reminder, it is their map pick.
Yeah, I mean, I love how they played that retake there as well. The player pushing in from CT went just far enough that he'd take the attention of that player in towards the cave away, because he hears those footsteps coming through. Obviously, that player has to look then in case he tries to cross and kill that planter. And it just gave the free kill to the retaker coming through cave. Sorry, I don't remember who was who. Honestly, I was too focused on the scenario, so no specifics in terms of names, of course, were given by me right there, but it was just well played. They were clearly communicating. They're not just getting into that groove, you know, where it's like 7-1-8-1 and you're just all playing and just doing whatever. They're still giving it their all in these rounds right now, and that's because, as we said, there is so much on the line with those Pro League spots. Not quite from this game, but pretty soon if you can take this one. And, well, this mid-play right now for 3D Max is one of the better situations they've actually had play out so far in this game. The trades have finally gone in their favor, but it is by no means a certainty. The positive is, as you can see, that defense rather is spread incredibly thin. And I believe the call has been made to abandon that A-bomb site, but they're not going to be here in time. 3D Max already moving through.
This is the first really good opportunity for 3D Max, and it's still one. Might struggle to get over the line. Oscar's going to choose to go aggressive. Shocker's taking Gravity once again. He was still lurking around Jaguar. And from what was a 4 versus 3, as they tried to get the bomb planted, it's suddenly a 3 versus 0. Wow. Well then, that switched very quickly. I said it was their first good opportunity. It felt like it when they had a 4 versus 3 and the bomb was about to be planted. I thought they could get into some decent after-plant positions. Turns out that was not the case. And Sinners continue to increase their lead.
Yeah, I mean, positive. No one's underperforming on 3D Max relative to each other, but no one's really performing at all. It's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, we want to see some of the firepower, right? As I called on Jocko. You mentioned Maka, of course.
I mean, Gravity looks real promising as well.
Yeah.
I can't single anyone out because it's just an entire team right now that is not having any success anywhere. It's no one individually that seems to be causing this trouble. It's just the whole unit together.
Exactly.
Is meshing. Or at least if it is meshing at all, Sinners are just tenfold in terms of level right now. Frag picks up the opening kill around the edge of that smoke. Does it again as he takes down Gravity. We'll at least get that one trade, but it's incredibly costly for him to do so.
Jocko.
They don't relent with this aggression either.
Yeah, Shock's ready and waiting, but guess who's found another kill? It's Mr. Oscar. Exercise, trying to work his way up ramp, but this is all that 3D Max have left, trying to play off the back of each other, trying to trade their way in, and if they do that, well, it's another incredibly difficult situation for them. Exercise will find one, but he's low for his troubles, and look at Shock, he's still here again. And Jocko realizes that he's been caught crossing, tries to take aim duels, but Oscar finds a triple to finish off the round. 10-1 as we go into the final round of the half, Dean. Wow. 11-1 or 10-2. That's not what I expected.
Yeah, I think we're getting towards the end of things here, potentially on Ancient. 3D Max are just looking completely deflated right now. Being held down by something, and I don't think it's Gravity. As I said, this is more than just the fact that they're playing with a player who they've only had on the team in a trial fashion for about 2 weeks, I believe. So nothing is clicking. Quick plays at least some confidence to try and establish some early map control, and with a decently placed nade, Oscar is being forced to fall back in towards the spawn. Not going to be able to do a ton if he gets pushed here by both of these players. At most maybe one, then the trade comes through, and in a ton of time they could do a lot with this sniper nest control.
Shark having a glance next to the smoke. Lucky, ready and raring to go. Finally, can we see something for the French in this game? B-Stick, nice peek on the timing, realizing he has the shield of the smoke, but in comes Maka. He gets that trade once again. Oscar finds one though, 3 versus 3. Neofrag working his way back in.
Again, I have hope for 3D Max, but Sinners have been pretty swift on these retakes. Right now, though, 3D Max aren't really giving them an inch to work with. Instead, Joko hopes to hold his ground. It's not going to work out with that Galil in hand. Instead, elsewhere, the trade comes back, leaving Maka now in a 1-on-2, but he's got that health advantage. He has the 1-on-1 there versus Oscar, but the bomb isn't planted for him. Neofrag just wants to hop on it. No, never mind. He goes out for the fight, and Maka finally adds another round to that counter for 3D Max. It's a second, but will it be enough is the question. We will have to wait and see after this short break.
take it. Second half between Sinners and 3D Max, and at the moment it's actually only been a one-way street. Sinners are loving life on this map at the moment, and it's 3D Max's pick. Can they answer back on CT?
Game well played. Is that an accusation? An unfortunate phrase, as 3D Max are having an unfortunate game so far. The Dil Berettas on that CT side as well. We'll see if they pay off, as the rush might just come in towards this B-bomb site. It looks to be the case. Joko, even with the opening kill, despite the damage that was done on towards Maka, it leaves them with a bit of an advantage here to play off of, and a gap in that smoke that could really bite Sinners in the ass, but never mind. They actually might just make it work in their favor instead, as those Glocks manage to reign supreme. A 3-on-2 as the bomb goes down, pretty much uncontested. Smoke still in place. That long flank, I was going to say, about to be spotted, but Lucky hits a nasty headshot on a mid-air Neo frag. And now it's a 2 versus 2 as they retreat to the back lines to try and play off of this bomb.
Exercise. And Lucky, they need this one, and that's a good run down from Exercise. Time to shot for the P250. Everything's been going Sinner's way so far. Could it be another clutch? And look at this. Lucky's been forced so far forward. I think even if he got back to the site there was no time for the defuse. Shock had it all in the palm of his hand. Hits another headshot anyway, just to confirm it. Sinners 11-2.
This is rough. This is not the game I had in mind coming in. I was expecting back and forths on all maps. I didn't think the picks were even going to matter very much, and clearly they didn't, just not in the way I was thinking. Sinners are making this look like it is their home right now, and he said that this was probably one of the more equal maps in terms of stats for these two teams. I believe Sinners might even have the slightly better stats in terms of win percentage, but it's played slightly more by 3D Max. So we were thinking things would go down to the wire here, but that has not been the case, and it doesn't look like it's going to be that either, because this is the force buy from 3D Max. They've already lost a player, and well, they've lost that B-bomb site in the meantime as well. They can't even retreat to safety.
Nice shot, Neo frag. Getting all the right shots at the right time, our Sinners. And both of us mentioned, of course, before we went live in this game, that we're expecting to see Oscar, that's why he was our player to watch, and Neofrag be the sort of the main duo to take point. And well, I wanted to pick Neofrag to begin with. I actually agreed with you that Oscar was the better choice. And look at Neofrag go. 18-7 now. Maybe I should stick with my gut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I kind of knew Oscar would show up. It was Neofrag that was in question for us.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree with you. But he is having a great game, which is great to see for Sinners. It is definitely a firepower upgrade getting him back into the fold once again. I remember casting Neofrag, of course, on this team way back when he was still a bit more of a newbie to the scene and people watching. IEM Fall RMR comes to mind. Back when they beat Heroic in that Vertigo game, I think, from memory. He had a great performance back then.
Yeah, I mean, even just looking at the stats, it kind of gives you the picture. Oscar, he's the only player with a positive KD over the past 3 months. They've played 57 maps and he's plus 152. And then you have Neofrag following closely behind.
Yeah.
Just to say, Oscar has a 1.13 rating over the past 3 months, and then Neofrag has a 1.11, but he has a negative KD at minus 15. So it tells you in the games where he does show up, he has massive impact, but he's maybe just not quite as consistent as Oscar is. So that's why he was the condition for them to take this win. And when he shows up, as you can see, 18-7, it really pays off in the team scoreline as well. He's always been that player, though.
Yep.
On pretty much every iteration of this lineup. Even when they've had other stars, he was always that player. If he showed up, you were almost certain they were going to win. Oh, there we go, though. Decent kill again from 8. I was going to say a shotgun up close can be scary, and indeed, Lucky picks up the headshot. I would have got a dink and got shot in the face myself. Oh, but a second kill comes through as he dodges that flash with his quick sense. Both game and mouse.
That was a great reaction from Lucky. That's actually not an easy shot to hit, because all too often the XM in that scenario can just, as you so rightly say, hit the body. We do 60-70 from that range and not get the kill instantly.
if it's at the neck, only like half of the bullets hit the head, and you get the dink as well if it's at a certain range, and it's infuriating.
Ooh.
We're shocked.
Kind of, exactly. Kind of like...
Time for a bad pun.
kind of like what we've been expecting from Sinners this entire game, pretty much. With shots like that. Now, Lucky's in a pretty good spot with the XM again, but does he have any internal clock as to the possibility of two players walking through Temple? I think he does. This is actually not bad timing. Oh, did he get round the corner? Perhaps he did, but Neofrag, he's going unchecked. It's all going Sinner's way. Now, Lucky, did I say his internal clock? Has he seen him? Oh, is it 4x3 moment? I think it might be. Teammate might get taken down, but he's going to have no idea that B-Stick's where he is. And Shark actually just spins around and takes him anyway. Oh my goodness. What a performance individually across the board for Sinners on map 1.
Yeah, I mean, I was not expecting that. I thought maybe a more one-sided scoreline would have been something like a 13-8 to either one of these teams. I wasn't expecting one of them to just get walked all over basically in this opening map, and I certainly didn't think it was going to be 3D Max who chose Ancient, who were probably going in feeling pretty damn confident, and it just did not go their way. And moving forward on towards Nuke, they're on a decent kind of streak themselves with I think 3 or 4 games in a row having been won. Sinners, on the other hand, they did lose their most recent match there against Unity, who are a fellow Czech team, I believe. Am I correct in that? Yeah, they are. They have a bit of a mixture in there, but they do have a core of 3 Czech players. So, yeah, I mean, that can always be kind of iffy when you're playing against those teams, especially when you're the best from the region, because those teams below you will be fully focused on what you do and trying to counteract you, because you're the team they're going to be competing against for spots in these tournaments from that region. So maybe we brush that one away and say before that their form had been pretty good on Nuke as well. So we have 2 teams that are both pretty solid on Nuke, but you have 3D Max who are going to need to somehow just completely wipe their brains now between these 2 maps. Yeah,
as you can see the stats of our player to watch, Oscar, as well. It was actually Neofrag who was the top fragger, but Oscar played incredibly well, had a number of really impactful kills, and basically played the perfect map, to be honest. 14-6, very solid, decent ADR for an AWPer as well, of course, who usually tries to stay alive in many instances. So yeah, very solid. And we go into the second map, which is kind of the same, like, at least paper stats wise, that we've expected from the first map. It's obviously a 3D Max pick that Ancient was, of course, which Sinners play a lot and play well. This is a Sinners pick of Nuke, which 3D Max play a decent amount and play pretty well themselves as well. So I would actually, after that first map and seeing how both these 2 teams are playing, it all depends on how these 2 teams start, of course, on Nuke. But this current form for Sinners looks like a 2-0 Sinners for me. We'll see if that's the case when we come back for Nuke after a quick break. Welcome back to what has been a very solid Sinners performance so far. Maybe we should have expected that, considering 3D Max are still technically playing with a stand-in in Gravity. But both these teams on such great win streaks at the moment, we expected a closer game than what we got, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, it was a couple spare rounds just thrown in there for 3D Max was all they were able to achieve. Early on, though, there was a ton of rounds that did kind of come down to a 2v2, a couple of clutch situations where just about Sinners managed to edge it out, and with that then carried on that early momentum, and at some point 3D Max it just fell off a cliff and they stopped performing at all. So yeah, I mean it was disappointing, but it is still a best of 3. If they can wipe that one away, they have a chance moving forward with Nuke and Overpass. Nuke, especially, as you said, is a pretty solid map for them, despite it being Sinners' map choice, and despite, I would say, Sinners having the advantage here as well. It is still a map that 3D Max play quite a bit of. They have good results in recent games as well. So if they can pick up this victory here and move on towards Overpass, where, as we said, it is a bit more of an even ground. Both of these teams kind of, they leave it in there, but they don't pick it. They're willing to play it. So especially on a third map decider, with both teams giving it their all, I think we would have a fantastic matchup. So I'm wondering if we get that far right now, I suppose.
Yeah, I hope we do. I hope we do. Usually, you know, we want to have a pretty decent game, as it's only a sort of a one-game day, isn't it, for the both of us in the EU Challenger League? So we want to have a bit of a banger, and sadly, it's only been a banger for Sinners so far, not so much for 3D Max. And yeah, I mean, the last few times these two teams have played, obviously it would have been slightly different rosters and slightly different names, of course, whether it's Looking for Org, Heat, etc., etc. They've come on top, the French. They tend to have done that in this particular matchup. But obviously they haven't played this year at all. So it's quite a long time for them not to have played. Lots of things have changed, pieces have changed, and Sinner's form, at least individually, in that opening map was particularly impressive. So, yeah. We need to see a bounce back from 3D Max to try and have someone of their 5 step up individually. Someone can have a bit of a bang around. Some of them can, pop off, like maybe a Jocko, like I mentioned. He has that ability to do that for absolutely certain. We'll see, though. We'll see. Right now, the legends of this Sinners roster, of course, Shock and Beastick have both been on this team for over 4 years now. They're still delivering, and yeah, it's making it look good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Mackett and Lucky are the main two you look towards to be the kind of consistent factors, but I think they're also hoping for a lot from Gravity with him being that new addition, with him having some pretty good performances for them so far as well. If he can wake up after that first map, that would be a good start at the very least. Fingers crossed they can come out swinging in the pistol round as well. Otherwise, Nuke can be a pretty difficult map to get your footing on, especially if you're coming off the back of such a devastating defeat.
Yeah, and exactly, you need to bounce back. You need to have a good start. You need to put that map out of your mind. What happened happened. You can't change the past, of course. So yeah, I'd be very curious to see if they can do that. It's a map that they've played quite a lot in recent times. I can go back through a few of them now, of course, even though it is Sinner's pick. 3D Max have played 3 recently, have won all 3 of them against Saw. That is a very good win against Saw. Take a Nuke away from them. Team Space and, of course, Bait as well. And that's what the Bait before they took their new additions in, of course, in Head Trick and Baz. So, yeah, very interesting to see how it turns out for them. However, you'd still expect Sinners to take it, but they have played it a lot more. They've played it 4 more times recently than 3D Max have. They have lost their last 2, like you mentioned, I think earlier. They did lose 1 to Unity and lose 1 to 9 Pandas, but before that, about just last month, they won, I think, 5 in a row, as I can see here. Yes, they won 5 in a row. 3 of them were kind of in a regional tournament against Eclot and Unity and Sampi. So, well, they beat Unity once, they lost to Unity once. So, the stats, if you dig a little bit deeper into it, it actually reads a little bit better for 3D Max than it might read for Sinners. Maybe they're just being maybe flattering to deceive a little bit with those games that they won, Sinners, in that little streak last month. It's not exactly at the level that 3D Max are getting some wins on, like the win against Saw that I mentioned. So it could still be very close, and that's what I'm hoping for sure.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, overall, it does seem like 3D Max have some stronger teams in there that they've played against, but they've also lost a lot of those games against the stronger teams, such as Kai and Falcons. To be fair, though, that's gone back a couple of months, and that's before they brought in Gravity as well. So there's a lot of changes. Yeah. My question is, over the past couple of weeks, even, how much time have they put into it with Gravity? Because they've only played they've actually played it 4 times since they've added them. So I presume it is something that they're actually working pretty hard on. They've all been pretty close matchups: 13-11, 13-10, 13-16. And then the 5-13 as well in there for... Oh, sorry, no, this is Sinners. What am I saying? Sorry. apparently my brain just isn't working. So yeah, for Sinners anyway, they've had some, as we said, a couple of losses before that streak, which wasn't against the best of opposition. I mean, Eklund are a pretty solid team. Nexus are pretty good as well. They've got wins over those, and they're who plays on Rebels? Innocent and
the Polish
some
team,
some new Polish players, at least some.
Yeah, they had a little run at Kato, I believe, from getting through to the main event through the Polish Championship, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah.
So I mean, there's some performances in there, and obviously they're going to be riding on a bit of a high after that first map. If we do manage to get into the second one at any point before the potential adrenaline does wear off.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get into the game very shortly. Maybe check with production. Do we have an ETA production on map 2? Hopefully we'll get it into game in a couple of minutes. So I think what we'll do, as we don't have an ETA just yet, we'll throw it to a quick break. When we're back, we'll go straight into the game. Ah, yes. We never know for sure when the players will hit the exclamation mark ready. And they have, just as we call for the break. So, no worries. It's a very short one. And we're going to go live into Nuke.
Yeah, give us a moment. At the very least, have to look at our ugly faces. Seconds necessary, huh? Full armor pretty much on that side of the initial smoke that was trying to main, as you can play now for these exchanges as they go down on towards that A-bomb site and outside. And it started off well with that initial kill from Shock, but it has completely collapsed. And 3D Max, they come alive here on Nuke. They needed that pistol round to get some wind beneath their wings, and we'll see now if they can capitalize on it, because we know Sinners are a dangerous team when it comes to these force buys as well. But it's the start they needed, and it does give some hope now that we could still potentially be looking at that 3-map series that we initially predicted before things played out as they did on Ancient.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be funny if that same sort of streak happens. You two opposite map pick victories that are very close to side. And we'll see. I've seen that happen many a time over the years. Jocko will manage to find out what he's got to face. A couple of Glocks. 1 Deagle. 2 Deagles, actually. Oscar's got one of them. Neofrag has the other. Re-smoke from Jocko. Ait will try and push forward, but just trying to spook Jocko slightly. He won't fall for that.
Not spooked easy. Not a lot to be expected really from Sinners, but Oscar gives us a little bit of something through that door. Unfortunately, they get caught by the ramp aggression, and even if they did get that kill on Joko or a trade, there is, as you can see, a follow-up in position for Joko. Doesn't quite get the ace, but he done some damage to assist Lucky in finishing things off as well. So yeah, he gets most of the work done on that eco. They're able to put themselves up 2-0, and you can see Sinners, of course, just wanted this gun round out as early as possible. Don't give 3D Max too many rounds to start building up confidence. Give them a couple, try and immediately get back in there the moment the guns could possibly come out. As you can see, even with a Galil in play, and just break their confidence and make them think that pistol round win was a fluke, and that things are going to be much more similar to Ancient than they'd hope.
Yeah.
It's all mind games. That's what CS is, man.
Exactly.
Gotta get out of your own head and get in your opponent's head.
If you remember, the only flash in the pan for 3D Max on the previous map was this round, right? It was the full purchase, first gun round, against the bonus buy as such. They finally hit through, and when I say finally, it didn't take that long. It was their only round until the final round of the half. And that looks like it could be a similar pattern. Ait will get an opening. Exercise, though, somehow gets 2 as he falls off the top of Heart. Jocko will be forced away by that Molotov, but Beastick's lurking through. Oh, didn't realise Maka was still waiting for him. So good battle back.
Oscar's going to lose that smoke cover now as well. Does just manage to get lucky to Wayne off the angle with a couple of shots going through. Does delay, as you can see, this retake, and well, with the peak coming in from heaven, they're very early from Joko, I guess, hoping that flash and the bit of presence around main had taken the attention away from heaven. He goes down on the peak. It's Maka now trying to kick things off, but the flash is perfect. If he had have taken that shot, he was holding off for a couple of seconds, thinking that perhaps it wasn't going to be the immediate peak to follow up that flashbang. Unfortunately, it was. And it's just an easy cleanup for Sinners then as they kick things off in that gun round with a win. And they leave 3D Max with very little money. They have two players on a double eco. Lucky, who can buy an M4 and Kevlar. And then you've got two other players who could also get the M4 and body armor. Or maybe a FAMASs if they want to get the utility. I mean, I presume they're buying here. They've got to go for it with that double eco situation.
Yeah, just to even up the cash in general as well, right? Like, so frustrating to be split from your teammates. So, evening it up, absolutely, when you've got two teammates double eco, makes the most sense in this scenario. And that's what they're figuring out right now. 5-7 in play, make that 2, alongside 3 M4. So they do kind of get what you were hoping. Obviously, it'd be very limited utility. So it's all about holding the angles and winning your fights for 3D Max in this round, I feel like. Across the team, we have 1 flash, 2 smokes, and an HE.
I don't think Sinners are going to expect 3 M4s, so I wouldn't mind seeing some coordinated aggression with those 3 rifles. Maybe throw all their eggs into one basket to see if they can catch 1 or 2 players off guard early on and maybe get into a successful trade. Or even 2 of the M4s backed up by a pistol would be a decent way to go. And they've at least combined some of that firepower, as you can see, towards ramp for now. But yeah, nothing crazy happening early on. They're just going to let Sinners make the initial play. Oh, and they've definitely done so.
Wow. The smoke breaking, giving a shock. A lovely frag. Great reaction. Unfortunately, down to 18 HP as the spam came back through. So the glue will be swapped over to him. Not sure it's going to matter too much. Maka's trying to fight back. He does finally find shock, but not enough. Gravity's managed to nab the M4 back, but I'm pretty sure Ike will have seen that been taken. So I think they know one more player's here. It's been looked at by Oscar, and it's the easiest of kills for him.
Yeah, leaving Lucky all alone. Gonna retreat back to what looks to be the spawn. Hoping to save the M4 forward, but they're taking the time to recover that bomb and actually get it on towards the site right now on the T side. I don't think it'll be an issue. Surely they'll grab it soon. Yeah, at this point, it's just a bit of a waiting game here as we wait for them to get towards the inevitable conclusion of this round, which is a 1 versus 4, obviously.
Well, here's one.
There we go. Maybe. Does he give it a go now? I mean, they haven't even planted yet. Does he try it? They're eco in next round anyway.
He's off.
No balls.
I mean,
shoot your shot, man.
In this situation as well, a lot of time for Sinners to go looking for him. At this point, you'd probably prefer Sinners to prioritise their own money rather than throw it away looking to deal with Lucky.
I think if Lucky had the key, go for it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Without it, I mean, 3 kills is just near impossible to get in time, but if he had the kit, he could have waited that second, maybe caught the player peeking out of main and then had a 1-on-2. That would have been very, very winnable. That's
why, like, clutches like the famous Snacks 1 on Cobblestone on the pistol are just, like, so remarkable and so notable because he didn't have a kit on that one either, right? They're, like, literally, like, 1 in 5 years, that sort of clutch.
So much urgency. Game. Yeah. A lot of the time, people won't even try it. And when you do try it, you end up playing too cautiously, or else you go for that crazy play because you're just running around like a madman, a headless chicken. You get shot in the face, and it doesn't work out. So you need to be truly exceptional, and you need just everything to come together. You need a bit of luck in there as well on your side for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the only silver lining for 3D Max in that round in the end is the fact that one more player from Sinners dies to the bomb. So actually limits their money a little bit more. Beastick, of course, now knows what's ahead of him in this round, though. Only 1 saved gun and a full eco otherwise, so the Mac 10 purchase definitely makes sense. Okay. We trying to do for a little boost on the corner here above the smoke? We are. I like this one. This could work out for a kill. That is gorgeous from 3D Max and from Lucky. That's the AWP removed as well from Oscar. Now, we've seen boosts on those vents a couple of times in the past, but not that specific angle, I feel like. More of the CT vent we see a boost on. Yeah. That's really nice. Nart out here. I'm waiting for you to clip this. I know you're there.
It's risky. Nice that is super risky. That's why, and I mean, it makes sense. You only have one rifle. You may as well try something super risky because it's an easy spam angle. I mean, it's commonly enough spammed even when they don't know you're there, and when they do know you're there, they can get you to the vent. So, not ideal, but they did make it pay off. And now with another trade back towards the ramp, they've got a few weapons in play. The problem is the bomb's already gone down on B, and without a kit, I think it's just the option to save the M4 and the op and send that Mac 10 alongside the USP to see what further damage can be achieved, preferably with some money for Joko to be made. Yeah, spot on. Macca's obviously, they knew they killed Oscar, so Macca's obviously gone for that AWP. He's managed to take it. There's no way they throw this into the retake, even with the man advantage. No kit, no armor. Lucky will save alongside it, of course. I want to see this Mac 10 actually push for something. You're absolutely right. I mean, I want to see this get one extra kill for some bonus money. Will help out the utility on the next round. He is looking for one, which is good. He managed to catch Shock. Nice dink through the edge of the floor, but unfortunately, getting punch is too much. So he does do what I wanted to do, and actually, it does contribute. Shock probably feels like he's quite far away from the bomb there. You can see where it was planted in comparison to where he was. Obviously, it was quite, well, the closest it could be with that plant behind the silo to that position in secret, but the damage done is enough to take him down to that C4, so in terms of Jocko, I'm going to be quite happy with that. Yeah, I mean, as you said, just the little bits of damage and the players that are being lost each round from these bomb explosions can, in the long run, make the difference. Even if you might forget about it by the point, it actually does make that difference. We go to drop down vent though from Shock, willing to take some risks at the moment. Well, he might have a clash with Joko if he goes any further. For now, just wants to be in position to keep that thought in the back of the minds of 3D Max that they have that player in the lower half of the map to contend with. Keeping Joko busy and potentially anyone else who might consider a rotation in that direction or might even consider leaving their own position. There we go, outside smokes. Not the deep ones either. So it is likely secret that they want control of. So now they're going to fake it out and creep close to main, it looks like. Yeah, it's the very simple version of those outside smokes. And how many HEs do 3D Max have to fight these smokes outside? It doesn't work for the opening pick. At least it works for a trade, though. And off the back of that, knowing there was another player there, Sinners just dive down secret. Little do they know, Jocko is still ready and waiting. He takes Shock, who'd made his way down the vent, and smokes off the next two players as well. Exercise finds Oscar in the meantime. 4v2. This is a good round from 3D Max. Yeah, and it's all on Ite, and he's not really in a position where you can do much. And well, actually, he gets flanked out there by Joko, who was incredibly patient throughout that round. Managed to get the 2 kills because of it, and not even take any damage in the process. A 3-3 scoreline. We have it tied up. 1900 loss bonus on either side as well, so it's a scary position, more so for Sinners because they don't have quite enough to buy. So I think it might actually be worthwhile taking that 1 eco, maybe a few pistols on the players who have the excess cash, but I don't expect a full investment. And yeah, they're giving us the eco indeed. They're like, okay, 3D Max can have their shot at this 4th round. They'll at least try and make it costly and then come back swinging. If they can keep up this back and forth even, then Sinners will be looking decent on this D side. So, oh, okay. Okay. That was interesting. Maka didn't realise that Shock could already be on the left. And okay, they've taken both ramp players now. Lucky's still here, needs this frag. Ite did pick up that AWP, but he's getting a little bit out of hand for 3D Max. Maka falling, not realising that timing that Shock could be already on the left. Thankfully, he had players and support quickly to go for a double push in that scenario, but even for Maka to be there in the first place wasn't entirely necessary when they knew the economy situation of Sinners, I feel like. It's slowed down big time, and really it's all about trying to find that one weakness right now, catch a player out of position. They do, I believe, bypass each other there in the lower part of the map. Yeah, Lucky turns around now just and clears the position that, of course, NeoFrag has just moved from. They're going to try and link up outside. Question is, are they going to bring this down towards B, where NeoFrag might believe he just cleared out the hallways? Well, he knows now for sure that he did not. And unfortunately, his teammates are going to have to contend with this. Contend with that player, rather, towards the door with very little time. Okay, he's actually gone up the vent. Interesting. They move quick. They should at least get the bomb plant and have a shot at the after plant. And with an op in play, it's winnable. Oscar could definitely still do some of the heavy lifting here.
This is very durable, yeah. Probably, unfortunately for Oscar, this is the one site in the game where having an AWP in the after plant is a little bit harder to maneuver. But there's B-Stick with the Deagle. Now we're cooking. Oscar will get his one, and it's Lucky in a 1v2, but he does have a smoke kit. Is he aware of the possibility of these angles? Glass not broken. And I have to run to the site. He does have that smoke. He crosses the angle that Oscar was holding. He's ready for Oscar to face it. Lovely shot. Now against the picked up M4. Not many bullets left in this one. I think Lucky might have got this. He does not. B-Stick finds it with probably the last bullet in the Deagle. That's huge for Sinners. And he keeps the AWP.
Yeah, I thought he was screwed. He realized, obviously, well, I put enough bullets center smoke and right of the smoke. May as well try the left side with the last couple of Deagle bullets and just about gets it. But that wild Deagle spam can be so unpredictable. So, yeah, a bit of fortune maybe on his side as well. Yeah, I mean, Oscar only got the 1 kill, I believe, there with the op. But overall, I don't think we can judge his op in too much. I'd say he can make it work anywhere. I'd imagine he has more op kills on Nuke than you and me have entirely combined across all maps. Molly's a lot of nades out onto that A-bomb site. Early outside smokes as well, just really trying to keep the pressure on right now. You can see it's already forced out a lot of that limited utility already from 3D Max. They don't have all the weaponry in play either to fully contest this outside fight. They do have an op and they do have a couple M4s, but you've got an MP9 and a shotgun as well. Really limiting a couple of these players. And with an initial kill already from Oscar on that op as well.
Again. Yeah. 5v4 for Sinners. Jocko will have to smoke Squeaky to get out of the vents. Ite is very aware of the possibility and the reason of that smoke being put down at that timing. 50 seconds. Sinners happy just to wait to see if 3D Max go hunting for something more. Go looking in a disadvantageous situation for them. For a frag that equalizes the scenario. "25 seconds, Dean."
Yeah, they really need to get a move on. Despite the advantage here, the time could cost them it all if they find really any resistance. As you can see, Lucky with that initial kill, it takes the attention, and they are in such a rush that they are not prepared for anything. Not a single point of damage is dished out from Sinners. They get mowed down, and 3D Max take what looked to be an easy round despite such a poor start. And Oscar's attempt here to save the op could be fought for. No, I don't think they're going to bother. They need the money themselves. There was a player down in the lobby there that I thought might have given it a go up the ladder. It would have been silly, so thankfully he didn't. But yeah, apart from that op now, they're not going to be working with much of a buy, really. Again, probably pistols and Kevlar. It'll give 3D Max a chance to try and get into the lead. And, well, speaking of 3D Max, they've actually called a timeout themselves. They're like, okay, sure, we won that round, but still a little bit dicey. We probably shouldn't have. They let the time run down. They gave us a chance that they didn't really have to. They could have tried to have capitalized on that man advantage a little bit earlier, and they just let things get away from them. So they know that's not really a reliable way to chain these rounds together.
Yeah. Well, at least we've got a closer game than what we saw on Ancient. That's what we wanted.
Yeah, I mean, already 3D Max have doubled their rounds.
Haha, yes. Max in a good position. 3 AKs on the CT side. Surely a single Oscar AWP won't be able to pull Sinners through. I say that knowing it absolutely can. And of course, actually, one thing I neglected to mention so far in this game is that just historically, Sinners Deagles have been superb. And already, there is a Tech 9 pick for Ait.
It's not the Deagle, but either way, the pistol gets the early kill. Now they've got 2 ops to work with as well. Not ideal on the T side of Nuke, but it is going to open up opportunities they wouldn't have had otherwise. I think for like 2 damage from the Glock right there. The Glock is so weak, I think the smoke managed to slow the bullet down. As Oscar gets the trade at the very least there outside to keep the advantage. Obviously, it didn't actually slow it down, but yeah, that was a ridiculous thing. I would have expected at least like 20. I think it done about 5 or 6 at most. Probably not even. Either way, they're going to group this back towards ramp. It's kind of the tried and tested, like, yeah, we've got a man advantage and we don't have a lot of weapons. Let's get up close on ramp and just burst down onto B. Maybe go heaven if they're crazy, but I don't think so at this time. They just need to get onto the site right now.
Yeah, 20 seconds. They might have done well to find themselves in this position, but yeah.
Gravity's gonna hold it down.
He's got it. he's got it. AJT, otherwise known as Ait.
Oh, no.
Will eventually get one more kill. Exercise though, that is unbelievable. What a triple to pop up right there, right then. It's Lucky versus Shock, and once again it's Lucky with the possibility of a smoke diffuse. He's going to use it as a shield. Oh, Shock's fumbling with his guns though, and this time Lucky's just going to stick it. Shock will keep the AWP, hop away, and 3D Max, their blushes are spared thanks to Exercise pretty much.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get that 4th kill with the jump and spinning USP to the head or something. I don't know. he was on such a roll, it felt like everything was going to go his way at that point. That's crazy. Sinners, though, I mean, not a terrible result considering what they went into the round with. They reminded 3D Max that they're still here to play. They could, at this point, potentially still get it up to a 7-5 half on this T side if 3D Max do let it slip here and now. And again, even if they manage 5 or 6 rounds, it's still a pretty decent T side to work off of. So they're on the grind right now. Gonna see what they can add after this pause, which I think might be a technical. I don't see the tactical pause on the hood. So I'm not 100% sure. Either way, we have a bit of downtime to chat and assess the situation. This time the scoreboard looks a lot more even over there on that Sinner side of things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, fairly equal as well. You've got Joko, Exercise, and Lucky all performing. Gravity and Maka, I mean, it's still relatively early days. They're not playing bad by any means, but you do have that kind of core 3 right now that are popping off. And then, I mean, that's only one of the players we had kind of highlighted as well. That's only Lucky in there because it was Maka, Lucky, and then Gravity is the newest addition that we said to kind of keep our eyes on. So you've still got that factor of Maka that could wake up at any moment, and Gravity, who has a lot to prove, as we said with you pointed out that you don't believe it's a full edition quite yet. They haven't made it official, so he might be in a bit of a trial period.
I double-checked Liquipedia, I double-checked HLTV. Both of them don't show him as a permanent 5th yet. I did look at the Twitter as well, and I think maybe I missed it. Maybe I'm blind, but I didn't see anything about a permanent edition. So if there was, I'm sure Liquipedia and HLTV would have followed suit pretty quickly, right? So yeah, maybe, hopefully I haven't missed anything. But I did do my research, at least I tried. So there you go. But yeah, I think a little bit of a tech pause here. Hopefully it won't be too long before we're back underway once again. Of course, the possibility of an Overpass decider is still very much real. Reminder, of course, the winner of this game goes through to those upper bracket semi-finals. Losing team goes through to the round 1 of that upper bracket. So skipping around in this, obviously, sometimes be a very tough schedule for teams playing online. So many matches. Managing to get passed around would be very helpful for either one of these two. As we mentioned, of course, historically, 3D Max do tend to beat Sinners in this particular game. Whether they're under the Heat banner, whether they're Orgless, or under 3D Max. They haven't played since December last year. So that's what we're Kind of excited to see who comes out on top, knowing that both these teams are on a win streak, of course. 9 of the last 10 for Sinners and 8 of the last 9 for 3D Max. Back into the action, round number 10. Both teams on a full gun round, thankfully. This is going to be an important one to find out who will probably take the lead on this half.
Yeah, this is a big round for both of these teams right now. It's a little bit slower on actually taking an attempt at control. Fortunately, a lot of the smokes are already used up on that T side, leaving only 1 right now, so they're going to be hoping for mistakes to be made, for peaks to be put in, and, well, it's not going to happen. Maka instead, with, I believe, a bit of a gap, or else just on the timing there as those smokes bloom, manages to catch that opening kill onto Neo Frag, and well, their Sinners are already on the back foot, and again, the clock is ticking away. There's still 55 seconds, sure, but they haven't really covered any ground at all. So, not a great position to be in at all. 3D Max have certainly come alive here on Nuke so far.
Yeah, it has been pretty consistently slow-paced from Sinners in the last 3 or 4 rounds. And it might work out for them, because Jocko's gone hunting looking for something. Not sure that's necessary in a 5 versus 4, but lack of info, maybe something they wanted to change. Maka now behind this smoke, playing on top of the box still. This is very dangerous. Drops down, makes noise, sees Shock. Goes for a peek on it still. That's very bold for Maka. But Aita's managed to deal with Lucky. Gravity's still here. Now 10 seconds. It's actually like Sinners didn't realise the clock situation coming in now. Gravity knows that there's 1 player coming from Heart and 1 player coming from Heaven. And because of that, he plays with Gravity himself. Drops down, takes 1 and 2. Great hold from Gravity. And 3D Max will secure at least a tie on the half.
Yeah, I think they're primed really to at least put 7 on the board, considering again it's this weaker investment. Although Sinners have had one of their closer rounds with a buy similar enough to what they have right now, with maybe even a little bit less. So let's see. Sometimes the training wheels come off when you have these pistols. You're like, okay, let's not stick to the strats. Let's not play it safe. Let's just do whatever the hell we can think of. Hopefully find some fortune on our side. That's not going to be the case. The door gets blown off. Gravity is just like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to push in here and make myself known. Trade though from Shock this time around gives a shotgun over, so it's not the best weapon to recover, unfortunately. And they're still losing numbers across the board. Woo! Okay, there we go. He sticks to the Tech 9. He says, screw the shotgun. Makes the 2nd kill before eventually going down. And again, Sinners are making this costly, but it's at a point in the half where it really doesn't matter. They need to just take the round win. So it's going to be Oscar and B-Stick to put that weight on their shoulder right now. 1 AK in play. And Oscar creeping around the smoke into what could be a decent position. Never mind, Maka spots him. I was wondering if he was maybe going to look back towards the hut or anything, how the timing was going to go as that smoke faded away, but apparently he already had vision. I'm presuming the gun barrel gave it away.
Yeah. Nicely done from 3D Max. Again, a round that was a little bit chaotic, but they've managed to figure it out. The slow pace from Sinners hasn't really worked out too great for them in these last couple of rounds. Of course, the one before that one, of course, was very late in the day, going for a split through Heaven with what, 8 seconds on the clock. It's never going to work in a month for Sundays. Let's see if they can at least get a 5th on this first half. Oh, that's unlucky. Right.
Okay, yeah, no, this is just a completely different show into what we got in Ancient. 3D Max were probably angered by how that first map played out. They knew they were better than that, and they're showcasing it right now as Joko pretty much has put a stop to this round already. I thought he might have had that follow-up kill with the dink already achieved, but Oscar gives a sliver of a chance, but really that's all it is. He needs a miracle to actually convert it into anything. 14 health, 4 opponents, and well, 2 of them already set up here for what should at least be a trade, and well, it's not even going to be necessary. 8-4 at the half time. It is not the position that Sinners would have hoped for, but not the worst T-side I've ever seen. We'll see if they can manage to build on it, of course, heading into the second half after we have a little bit of a break, so stick with us.
8-4. Ooh, this could be in for a very fast pistol round. Shock. Well, he shocks gravity, quite literally. What a start, but it's not going to work out for much more. Maka with the T-side dualies is straight in for a double kill. One gun equals one kill, perhaps. And Sinners now have a very tough retake.
Yeah, I don't like their chances here. No kit in play. They do have a nade, but, I mean, how much damage is it seriously going to do? Maybe the one player, but as they push out of heaven here, they're going to have so many angles to contend with. Yeah, the nade doesn't do anything. Unfortunately, the Glock of Joko in particular, alongside those Dilberes, are what to get the job done. 9-4, 3D Max on the way towards what could be third and final map in Overpass as the decider if they can keep it rolling as smoothly as they have for the last while. Again, it was 4-4, I believe, at one point. 3D Max took control, managed to finish out the half spectacularly, and now we're looking to, well, maybe ease their way through the beginning of the second half as well. If they can take down this force buy, they're certainly on track to do so.
Sinners can win the force buy though, then the force buy wars will commence, and it's a different tale. It will all transpire in a matter of 1 minute 33 seconds. Neofrag trying to hit some damage with a nade, but a little bit too late on that one, trying to find something through the smokes. Prefer to maybe see him use that nade to break open one of those smokes perhaps, as there's so many players in the action here. Oscar ready to help to spam that too if that smoke got blown open. Not this time though. Shock with the 5-7 down near Secret. Big off angle. Mac 10 will swing and deleted. No chance.
Yeah, Sinners just don't play with the same confidence here on Nuke as they did back on Ancient. 3D Max are certainly not giving them as much space to play with either. Get himself being a lot more assertive. Pistols here again alongside just one MP9 really shouldn't be able to do a ton, especially as that bomb's already moving towards B. I believe it's Neofrag, yeah, who's in position to try and have something to say about this, but he's only got a deagle, and that push entry ramp is shut down as well, so his assistance isn't going to be coming in anytime soon. Instead, they're hoping that player creeping through Secret might be able to catch the back of them towards the double doors, but it's not looking too likely. They are continuing to be cautious of that, and slowly they're chipping away at the health there of Neofrag, as you can see, leaving Oscar to maybe even contemplate saving the Galil. Probably not though, because then it'll send them off in terms of money with the rest of his team.
Yeah.
And, well, it's no longer an option anyway.
I thought that it'd be very unlikely that Jocko and Oscar would have bypassed each other there. Jocko would have realised the timing. The only place he could have disappeared to would be inside the vent. No escape for Oscar.
Well, unless he had went straight up the ladder, he might go away.
If he ran, he would have had a chance for sure. But he decided to peek towards single first.
Yeah. A bit more damage would have been the way to go, as I had said, if he saves that
Yeah.
Galil. Then... Oh, obviously he's on the CT side. I'm too tired, man. My brain isn't working, so
You're
we
not
get
wrong
some money
though.
either way.
Damage is fair.
Yeah. I think it was a fair shot for him to hopefully catch that player as they were sprinting back through the single door to get away from the bomb. That was clearly the goal. Didn't think a player had already bypassed that little pointed event. 10-4. And that's not me saying copy, that is the scoreline.
10-4, 10-4.
We got another Zeus from Shock.
Possibly. Living up to his name.
You feel the electricity in the air.
He will feel the electricity. If anyone goes through Hearts, there's a good chance they will. Shock has been watching ROPS demos using that Zeus on pistol rounds and Ecos alike. Did it in the pistol. Can he do it on the Eco too? Push through. Maka will realise what's going on and won't just go for a straight up peek until he realises that it's a little bit safer. He's not being overwhelmed. Exercise finds one more. Shock trying his best, but not going to happen on this occasion. Neofrag with the P250. 2-13 in this game is Neofrag. He's quite disconnected from the rest of his teammates. It's a rough one for him. He may hit a little tag on Exercise, but no more than that. The 3D Max are in pole position to take another opposite map pick. You know, stats are pretty similar between these two on both these first two maps in this series. it's still the opposite map pick. We're getting ever closer to Overpass.
Yeah, it's in pretty clear view, I would say, at this point, unless Sinners have one of the craziest comebacks sitting in their back pocket right now. We'll see. Perhaps a couple of rounds to kick things off, and then we'll take it one step at a time. Right now, it's all about coming alive, because we have not seen any life from them so far. Joko, I don't even think he spotted him dropping down into main right there. Manages to do a ton of damage. Honestly, probably should have had that initial kill. He will eventually find, not before Neofrag elsewhere did open things up in favor of Sinners, but that did not last very long. And neither will Sinners here on Nuke, as it looks like things will be coming to a close pretty soon, unless Oscar has a miracle tucked away.
Unfortunately, in the worst position possible, Oscar has not been allowed to have any impact in this game. Whereas the man we called up, the man we wanted to see have impact for 3D Max, I called his name, Joko. My guy is 18-8. And he is looking very good on Nuke. You know where Oscar is? Of course, they've got him pinned in the vents. Even if he had a kit, he wouldn't be flying up here to try and go for a retake. It's not going to be the case. Of course, with the spare economy that 3D Max have, they'll absolutely hunt him. I think Joko realizes he's about to die to the bomb, though, so that's why he ran away.
Still took some damage, though, despite being so far away. But yeah, Oscar carries the op forward at the very least into a round where they wouldn't have had one otherwise, and well, can drop an M4 as well, so that'll be pretty helpful.
I've seen a lot of teams get caught off by the bomb blast radius on Nuke. I think I saw a ECL game that Saw were playing in the early games of the season. I think a couple of times I had a number of players.
Makes sense though, right? Dirty bomb, bigger radius than the other maps. Got to stay out of that radiation. There's more to consider, you know.
How do you explain
big
ancient?
brain.
How do you explain ancient then?
Ancient. Oh, it's just a curse.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Everyone's just slowly bleeding now.
Well, Neofrag tries to go super aggressive, tries to make something happen, and well, he has not been able to repeat his impressive opening map. He's 3-16. Not a good one for him.
Shock, I think, caught a player trying to peek in towards the hut. I don't think it was a super necessary play considering they already had the opening kill, but I'm presuming he was on the angle before the op got the pick and then figured he may as well stay on it and then lost the fight. Neofrag's having a terrible game. He was so crucial in their success on Ancient as well.
Yeah, he was so good. Sadly, the opposite for Neofrag on Nuke. Ite has the XM. I hear a tick in the chat. Hopefully that doesn't mean someone's timed out.
Whoa, that's rude. Call him that.
Oscar. Come on. One good round from Oscar on Nuke. That's what we want to see.
Just one? I'd like to see 8 in a row.
You think?
It's not happening, but I would like to see 8 in a row.
Well, he's rotated into the right spot. And so has Ite. And so has B-Stick.
Ooh, sharing the nades with Oscar the Opera. It's a weird one, but okay.
Do they know of Lucky? Do they know of Lucky? B-Stick. Internal clock. Is it going to tick over? I don't think it's going to. Lucky has found the opening. There's one. And the XM is going to be caught. And now Oscar is so very stuck. One more would be lovely. And actually gets it. 5 seconds. That finally. Maka gets that trade. But Oscar's done God's work there. It gives Shock a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, that's all it is, really. I want to touch on something in a minute. Not too important right now, as Maka has the scope already pointed in, and Shock just creeps into the angle, giving him what was a fairly straightforward shot. Oh, I need to get my camera on. And we will be good to go ahead and get ourselves back on screen there in just a moment. But yeah, I mean, obviously 13-4, I believe, in the end. Things did not go well for Sinners, but it seemed like their communication in that final round was pretty decent. I like that they even dropped that smoke in towards Oscar when he was down in dark, so if a molly went in, he could obviously try and continue playing time. Didn't work out like that though, they just took the fight, and despite Oscar pulling off a crazy little 2k, it wasn't enough in the end, as we've seen. So it is going to be a third map necessary to see who's going to be able to close out this series. As we said, it was expected that this could go all the way to 3, but I didn't expect it to happen like this.
No, I mean, as I said, both these opening two maps, we both had the feeling that while we have to predict what we predict, but it's both those maps could have gone either way. Very close in terms of the stats between these two teams. Very often, this matchup, historically, even though they haven't played this year, has gone to 3, and it's going to go to 3 once again. So yeah, Overpass is where we're going to go. There is the player stats of Oscar. Even though he lost this map, he was our player to watch. We have to look at his stats for it, of course, and he still did pretty okay. That last round was a nice attempt to try and pull it back, but as I think we all probably thought, it was a little bit too far gone, that one for Sinners. So they'll have to go again on Overpass. It's a great rebuttal from 3D Max, and a great rebuttal from the man Jocko that I called out, of course, as well, as a man that possibly could have a great performance and pull 3D Max back into this series. He did exactly that. Great to see for the French boys. We'll see if they can absolutely double down on it and win this BO3, or whether it will be a Sinners victory on Overpass after the break. And we're back for the last map of this matchup between Sinners and 3D Max. It's been a quite entertaining series so far, but actually a bit easier on both maps than we suspected. It's been quite comfortable for both these two teams. We thought Nuke would be a bit closer. Turned out Sinners, yeah, they fell away slightly and 3D Max ate them up. So Overpass is our home and our battleground for this decider.
Yeah, and actually both teams have won their last couple of games here. In Sinner's case, it was versus 9 Pandas in alternate attacks. Both really close, 13-10 and 13-11 in fairness, so it's not like it was easy by any means. And similar enough for 3D Max, they beat Saw and Young Ninjas and had lost their previous game against Fnatic. So it's, I think, as we said in the beginning, kind of the perfect middle ground. They don't play it tons, but they're always willing to let it through, and both teams have roughly a 50% win rate. So it is really a coin toss at this point, and it has been throughout this entire series. The stats, as you said, do not mean anything. Look at the stats and then predict the opposite. That seems to be what we're getting.
Yeah, paper stats have been out the window in the last few days. So yeah, let's see. Fortunately for this decider, paper stats are pretty much 50-50. So yeah, we've got no idea which way it'll go. What I'll do actually, if I wait for the map to start, I'll just quickly run you through some of the results that are happening across the grounds. Of course, this game's going into a third map decider. In the other upper semi-final, Movistar Koi are a map and 10-1 up on Rush B. So that's going to be looks like a pretty easy path for them into the upper bracket playoff semi-finals, which of course I spoke about, which is what these two teams, Sinners and 3D Max, are playing for. In the lower bracket of the high seed group, Aurora and Paravision are currently doing battle. Aurora won map 1 pretty comfortably. Paravision are 11-10 up on map 2 as we speak. So yeah, that should be pretty close as well. Maybe that has a chance of going into a third up decider. And 9 Pandas and Saw, a match that's a pretty high quality game as well, of course. Two teams who officially made the major. Unfortunately, 9 Pandas couldn't play it. But yeah, that's going into a third map decider too. So interesting stuff in those two lower bracket ones. Of course, the winners of those lower bracket games go into the upper bracket round 1. The losers go into the lower bracket round 1 of the playoffs. It's a bit complicated. The format is, it's a bit up and down. It changes with different seasons. So we try our best to keep you guys updated on it. So yeah, it's hopefully we'll figure it out as all the games and results come through. I will mention, of course, in the medium seed group as well. Fours are 1 map up on TSM. TSM are 10-8 up on map 2. And Betera and the Polish team, which I'm not going to try and pronounce, we'll just call them Brazy. They're also in a third map. So quite a lot of close games around the grounds right now.
Rajlicki Luz, maybe, or something
yes,
like that?
I think it's something like
I don't
that,
actually know Polish, but it's definitely something along those lines.
Close.
And at least I gave it a go.
You tried.
So,
I respect you for it.
The only Polish word I know is Spidale. That's of course, but I don't actually speak the language, so I can feign ignorance. I don't really know what that means.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Says, how dare you?
Someone said it means I love everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Someone told me it means love. Yeah, who knows?
Exactly.
But yeah, we're getting ready for this Overpass and this third map. As you say, both teams have won a couple recently, but I think I'm willing to throw all paper stats out the window for this one and just see how the brawl goes, right? Because I think there's a lot in the line. Of course, the loser isn't exactly eliminated. They just play the round 1 instead. The winner has to play 1 less round in the playoffs in the fight for Pro League. 2 spots, of course. 1 through that upper bracket in playoffs and 1 through the consolidation final in playoffs. So, yeah, I mean, I would actually, on this map, personally, would actually favour Sinners slightly. I saw them play the other day against NP and they had a great game, I think. It was quite a while ago. I say the other day, it was a long time ago, I think. But it was with a similar roster, if I'm not mistaken. And they played quite well. NIP had been a bit of a mess, but still. And yeah, when it comes to their opponents, 3D Max, I think they've always been pretty happy to play this map. But at the same time, they do have... Both teams have these up and down results on it, right? Despite their recent wins. So it's tough. It's tough to call. I will personally pick Sinners, even though I picked 3D Max as my prediction before the game. So let's see.
All right, well, I'll stick with Sinners, but honestly,
Okay.
as you said, it's really tough. I don't know who's going to get it. I'm just going to stick with Sinners for the sake of my consistency at this point.
Yeah, you know what? I should have done that
whoever...
too. I should have done that too. Why didn't I do
True.
that?
Now you just seem like you have no loyalty.
You know what? I'll do it. I'm switching back, guys. No, I'm switching back.
You don't even have loyalty to your traitorous cause. What the hell?
Yeah, I know, but I forgot that I predicted them in the predictions beforehand. All right, cut me some
Embarrassing.
slack. Cut me some slack. It's been a weird series. It's been a weird series. I'm still got a bit of a cold as well, so maybe my brain isn't remembering things as it should. But
I think though, whoever gets the strong start here again might just run away with it. That seems to be the trend of these maps so far. If
Who
you're
starts
down and out
T-side?
in the early stages, you're screwed.
right, yeah.
I believe it's a knife round, right?
I think we got a knife round. So the question is, who starts T-side? Who starts T-side overpass? Can always be a tough mistress. So we'll have to see. Right now, according to HLTV, I see 3D Max on T-side, but that could be before they've done the knife round because, of course, of the delay and stuff. So we'll see. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much longer this delay is going to be, unfortunately. But
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll
it's not like we're behind
looking.
schedule.
No, we're not.
Pretty quick, so it's
About a minute away, apparently. Soon,
about a minute,
soon
that's
is the
not bad.
word. Soon
we
is the
can
word.
manage. In
Yeah,
Valve time, though, that's like 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
If we know by their previous instances and updates, perhaps it might be. But you know, Valve time is infamous. But yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty curious to see like who else makes it through as well. Like obviously we've got to focus on this game, but with 2 slots available for Pro League in season 20, of course, not the Pro League that's 15 days away, but the Pro League after. I mean, if I was to look at the teams that are still here, I'd honestly say that maybe one of these two and Koi or Aurora would be my favourites. But there's a long way to go, and we're going to have to figure out who will be our first semi-finalist in the playoffs. It's one of Sinners, it's one of 3D Max. Which one will it be?
Connect right now, and he might never mind. Crouches right into the angle and hits the headshot. In the meantime, they're going to start bursting onto that B bomb site, and it's not going to be the same success, at least initially, for Sinners. They're being completely locked out now, actually. That initial kill back in towards Graffiti got rid of the initial defense, then they had to just charge back in through short, and things did not work out up close and personal against those Glocks. I think they'll give the retake a go, but a 2-on-4 with no kit in play, I don't love their chances.
Nice shot from Ait, but the instant trade from Exercise was always going to come through. And we mentioned the T-side start, as I suspected it would be 3D Max. Could be a bit difficult. Well, if you would pistol, get a nice conversion, especially if Sinners are choosing to force buy here. That could be 3-0. Looking very simple for them, but never count out the Sinners Deagles or the Oscar Scout.
Always an interesting pick-up. Very hit or miss, literally. Oscar, though, can pull it off if anyone can, so... Let's see what exactly the plan is. I believe he's just positioned it over towards A long. A little bit of a peek in on mid, maybe feigning that there won't be presence around long. Hoping to have someone kind of at ease, to put someone at ease, rather, if they were to go for that early long peak just after the mid peak. But at this point, they know, of course, that they could have repositioned easily, even if it was only that initial mid peak. So they'll slow things down. They'll keep on just slowly inching their way forward on these angles. And while Exercise, I was going to say, might have a false sense of security here, because that peak has come in quite yet from the tree. Only now does it come true, and Neo frag on the Deagle. I think it was only just on that previous map where you mentioned the Deagles of Sinners and how dangerous they can be. They didn't come alive when you mentioned it, but, well, it only really matters if they manage to make it happen here on map number 3.
Yeah, and Neofrag didn't come alive either, right? Map 1 really well played by him, but map 2 very quiet. So, great start for a bit of confidence to return that to his mouse hand, perhaps, for Neofrag. Maybe a mental help, of course, as well, with that confidence. Just eating a couple of nice Deagle shots can just change how you feel. You could have a second as well. Look at the timing he's got on Maka, and look at what 3D Max are going into. 5-7, all the tag comes through from Jocko, actually behind Lucky and Gravity, but look at Beast, he's still here. He catches one on the cross, he was low, of course, and look at the damage done to Lucky and Gravity. It's a nice kill from Lucky, but Neofrag was there for the trade. 7 seconds on the plant, this isn't going to happen. Actually, it was quite close for Gravity. He might have even got a lineup there, but Oscar instantly with the Scout takes it and gets the free AK.
Yeah, of all the weapons as well, to be left one-on-one there, it's the Scout. If he misses or if he only gets a body shot while that final player is full health, then he would have been screwed, but he makes it work.
solid trade, a round win there with not a ton to work with, mostly pistols and the scout. And well, it forces the hand 3D Max to just go ahead and put it all in once again, try and get it done, see if they can go ahead and rock the boat once again, get the favor tipping back in their direction. And well, with an AK in play, Maka actually completely catches Neofrag off guard. I would presume not expecting any rifles at all.
Yes, the Force by Warstein. They could be about to begin with a vengeance. Jocko's got the M4. You could give that over to Lucky or Exercise, of course. They've got armor to work with. See if that is a choice they go for. You'd think they would. There it is. This is now actually quite a tough round for Sinners to win. I know they're a man down, so it sounds obvious, but you need one player to maybe get two, the second player to probably get two, just to relax it. And they're quite split up, even though they've got multiple on A. They need this flank from Oscar to work out.
Does manage to catch that one kill. That's going to keep them busy now, somewhat being cautious of their flank,
working.
even though Oscar's wrapped it back around. And as you can see, they walk into the meat grinder. Lucky with a Tech 9 up close and personal. That's where you want to be with this weapon. He's got it right in the face here. I believe that is Shock on the bomb site. Not able to get the finish, and now he's working with a scout, which isn't the ideal weapon. Hopes for the no-scope to land. And while he gets finished off, an upgrade to the 8K as well comes in for Shock. It was a 3K found also, so that's good money added to the bank in a crucial round. And well, 3D Max this time around don't make their forced buy workout. They're going to be taking an eco. I don't even imagine any pistols are really going to be bought up, so this should be straightforward for Sinners. A chance to solidify their economy and potentially keep all 5 players alive.
Shock played that super well, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, he's somewhat fortunate not to go down there, but the fact he stayed alive for so long and in the end finally finishing off the kill was super nice. Exercise is loving that bomb inspect animation, keeping the F key firmly planted to continue spinning that C4. Let's go with the UMP. I don't see the UMP too much these days, but maybe an old favourite from him. Exercise is still holding it down. Going for the world record, perhaps, on bomb spinning. Don't drop it. Could have issues.
So, I get it. It's all Glocks at the moment, though, so there's not much going on. It gives us time to take a breather. 3D Max are going to need it because if they don't come alive in the first gun round, I think my prediction that whoever got the early kind of lead would run away with it might come true. And I don't want it to come true because I would like one close map at least in this series.
Yeah. 3D Max need to get this one sorted. Get it done and dusted. Naka may as well use his flashes. There we go. Nothing for free that can be picked up for Sinners. Shock will get that one. And the last. Another triple kill for Shock. That's 6 kills in 2 rounds. Nice.
Some eco frags. We could call him an eco fragger, but that's what you want. I like eco frags. Gets the confidence rolling, and then you can get the kills when it matters as well. Not that the eco frags don't matter. You don't want to get ecoed and rolled over by pistols. But Molly was invisible there for a moment. That was weird. Either way, 3-1. We're finally getting into some real action now. We can wake ourselves up a little bit as we have some real AKs in play. No op, unfortunately, which is a little bit of a kicker for Maka, but I'm not like Overpass. You don't necessarily need it here on that T side. That nade does serious damage, though. Lucky down to 44. It must have landed directly on him. You can see the aggression out through Monster here from the CT side as well. They are just so incredibly confident right now. Maka gets shot in the face through a fence, and well, there was no defense to be had. Joko might have a shot at least at getting the trade as he creeps around the corner, crouching, giving his position away, unfortunately.
Shock is taking over the server right now. Might have been a big shadow advantage for Jocko there, but Shock was just better.
Right eye peek as well. He crouched in on the left side, right? So Show what he's seeing just before he gets the vision on. They line up again for Shock. Is he even trying right now, or is everything just kind of falling into place? Because sometimes it seems like that's what's happening.
Everything's gone right in this round for him. And actually, everything's gone right in the last 3 rounds for him.
I love when I have those games.
Yeah, right.
Once a year.
Once a year, I guess. Spot on.
I don't play often enough anymore.
Yeah.
I have a good game.
Having a good game is a great feeling, especially when you haven't played in a while. You're like, oh my god, I've still got it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Ait will steal the ace from Shock, but he won't care. That makes it 10 kills in 3 rounds.
It's crazy. And they've got 4 AKs as well, in comparison to 0 AKs for 3D Maxes. They're stuck on Deck 9s. All the utility they could ever ask for. A somewhat stable economy already at this point. Sinners are on an early roll, and this is a bit more reminiscent of how things played out in Ancient, so it's got to begin to be scary here at this point for 3D Max, knowing that it's most likely going to be 5-1, although they're of course going to give it their all here with a decent enough investment. Yeah, Sinners are awake now. They reattached their hands. Clearly they had severed their limbs in that second map. No other explanation.
Oscar, well, he's under a little bit of pressure there. Gets taken down. Now, with the AK picked up for Lucky, there's a chance to maybe do something with this, but thankfully for B-Stick, picks on a good timing. Now, Ike is here to help. Flash does actually quite a lot of work. Not necessarily the right way for Sinners, but in the end he recovers the spray. E for Ike this time. And Dean, look at the money they've built up already. They've got, before this utility purchase, they had 4 or 3, I think it was 3. They had 3 players on quintuple digits.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Obviously, with the damage done, the small bit of damage and the need for the op to come back out here on Oscar, they do, as you said, manage to spend a decent amount, but there's still 4 of the players that are pretty close to that 10k. 3 of them, at least, are really close. B-Stick's still pretty comfortable with 6,500. Oscar's in an okay position considering he's already got the op in play as well, and you can see clearly 3D Max are feeling the pressure right now. They're going to try and give a bit of a change, and I think Oscar will probably look to put an early stop to whatever plan they might be coming up with. He's got a decent spawn here for either connector or mid. Mac has got his op finally as well.
Yeah. T-side AWP on Overpass, probably the best map, one of the best maps in the pool to actually try and get it into action. Early picks toward Monster Tunnel, perhaps. Maybe one toward Playground or Balloons. Need one to counteract, of course, the CT AWP too. Nice deep nade from Neofrag. Getting super aggressive on this one. Wow. Full knife out. Look how close he's going to be toward the slide in Playground, but it's not going to work. Maka with a counter flash didn't even affect Neofrag that much, but Exercise clears it immediately. W key held from Neofrag to no avail.
It's not the first time he's gone down early either. He did, of course, get caught by that AK that one round in mid where they weren't expecting much, so it was fairly understandable. This time around, though, just got super aggressive. Thankfully, his teammates are going to make up for it again, with Shock being a one-man army right now, as you can see.
Yeah, what a game. Oscar. This is a slightly spooky position for him to be in. He hasn't really got any supports until the rotating B-Stick will come up to help. The only support he has is that smoke right now. But there's no reason for 3D Max just to sprint through this, so that's why he feels comfortable there for now. Hello. Hello.
Well, that's B completely open, right? Yeah, no one here at all. They can even get the deep positioning for the after plant if they want.
That's rough.
Plant safe.
That's rough, right? Because one situation where they actually go for a rotation. Check it. Oh, you don't. Okay, I'll get back to my point in a moment because a retake could still be possible. Maybe not now. Oscar needs a frag right now, and I don't think it's going to come through. I don't think 3D Max will give him anything. They know how important it is to get a second T round on the board finally. But yeah, they had no Monster Watcher for a second there. Did Sinners. Oscar will hold for an exit, but they let Lucky walk through.
I mean, it's how they've been playing so far. They've been just going for crazy things, and they had been working out. So it's a volatile way to be winning for sure, and it also means they're taking these risks. They're willing to leave places open to stack up elsewhere in hope that they're correct in their decision making. Unfortunately, this time around, they just weren't. Still got decent money though, and I mean the main save that they needed was the up for Oscar, so managing to pull that forward leaves them with loads for another buy if necessary, and obviously a really good one here now as well. Get another pause this time, I think, potentially a technical.
Yeah, it looks like a quick one. Players are moving, so I hope it's not going to be too long. Of course, with the set spawns now that we have, of course, an Overpass and every map in the pool. It's a little bit different for teams. Kind of more expected timings, I suppose. Vertigo has one particular T-side spawn, which gets you very fast up toward Gap on A. Overpass doesn't really have any fancy ones, I feel like. I think that could give you an opening pick really on a perfect timing. Still close enough to maybe go for an AWP frag toward Monster, for example, but not easy to feel under pressure. Looks like Lucky is the only one that hasn't bought up, so maybe a slight issue for him.
Not ideal. Might be the reason for the timeout. Might just be hating that he doesn't have enough to buy with everyone else perfectly. He's going to be stuck on a Galil. As is Joko, but he was willing to sacrifice. He could have went AK Kevlar with no nades if he wanted. Oh, here we go. We're getting back into it, so Lucky should be buying now. Probably another Galil. Which won't be terrible, but it is also a round that they need to pick up to chain these two together and get somewhere towards breaking the economy of Sinners. It's still not going to happen with this one, but it'll be a start at the very least.
Yeah.
Foundation to build off of here on the T side.
Sort of situation where for Sinners, if they can't take advantage of having such a bank, they'll be very frustrated. On a CT map like Overpass especially, being given so many gun rounds that you maybe can't convert, be frustrating for them. So it's just important for them for sure. Oscar tries to go for a peek into with Con, but that's actually, even though we're in a third map, it feels like that's probably one of the main battles we've had, AWP versus AWP, in this game so far. Maka will best Oscar this time, but it does in the end lead to a 3D Max 4v3.
Yeah, they're playing things a lot slower now, even with the advantage in their favor. Sinners, though, on the other hand, they're aggressive. 2 players down in B water, and I believe I is also maybe in the pit right now. Yeah, they've completely abandoned A, and the bomb looks like it's actually probably going to head in that direction. Although right now it's still chilling back in the spawn.
I mean, having
Heaven.
yeah, I believe so. I think double short here for Sinners could still work out for something. This could be very interesting, actually. 30 seconds.
Alright. Shocked looking to stand on his ground once again. He was the reason they had such success early on and with a bit of assistance. It looks like indeed he has B on lockdown and potentially this round as well. Although a low health beasting needs to end it, and there you go. It's a little bit of a shaky spray, but in the end he does manage to get that kill.
Yeah. Unfortunately, 3D Max choosing wrong, choosing incorrectly, right? I said double short could be a problem. I looked like that where they were eking their way toward, right? And there we go.
Scout, couple AKs and pistols, it's not great. I maybe wouldn't have minded an eco for them to try and get towards a buy here again as early as possible, but with the scoreline it's also understandable that they want to press the issue a small bit. Timing us connector creep rather might work out in Gravity's favor, and indeed somehow he gets that kill. I thought Neofrag had the drop on him. Looked like
good
he did.
reaction. Yeah, I think pretty sure he did. Just obviously reacted faster. Ducked out the way. Now they have to get through Oscar and B-Stick, and there is a quick rotation up here as well from Ait. Look at B-Stick playing with this smoke. This is doable. Oh, look at the damage. 1 CT nade, 3 players put down to around about half HP, but that's a lot of information for B-Stick. He gets his 1v1, but sees 3 players on the other side of it. Ait is here. That will help out. Gravity will go down, but he's out of bullets. He's actually used his entire clip. Ait, that's a little bit overzealous, and yeah, he'll get punished for it, as will Sinners.
Yeah, punished big time. I mean, Shock's been playing insane, sure, but a 1v3, even with them all being fairly damaged, just going to need a few mistakes really to be made, although I was going to say I don't think that's going to happen because the flank was coming through. I wasn't sure what was going on. He just didn't bother shooting initially. Maybe wanted the knife kill, as you said, but in the end he decides, yeah, this isn't worth playing around with anymore. Even if he just managed to peek through and get 1 kill on one of his teammates right there, then could have affected things in the long run.
Yeah, that was a hold for Sinners that I thought was going to be a success. Beastick got all the intel for his teammates that 3 players were still waiting. Front bathroom on the headshot line. The main damage was significant, but Ait, that's the first bit of, I would say, mistake in this whole entire series, actually, I really have seen from him so far. Obviously, it's hard to see through the molly, but he uses all of his bullets and then just chose to swing wide with the P2K after he was out. Awkward situation for him, don't get me wrong, but it looked awkward for a reason.
Wait with the wall bang there, I don't think. A little bit off. Either way, early short control taken, and well, this time the wall bang works. It's lucky though who gets it in his favor. Ties up the health. Again, slow down. Trying to feel each other out. It's double on the bathrooms, 1 back on the A-bomb site as well. It seems like that's the read currently that Sinners have. Pretty Max though more than willing to change apparently, because they've just gone ahead and sprinted everything back through the spawn. 50 seconds, so they're going to want to try and likely run this up long. Preferably while sticking to that left wall to maybe not give away the sound cues, but that's not the case.
Yeah, but only being loud with it that they've taken long bathroom, and that's why Neofrag keeps an eye on it. So, nice frag for him. Gravity maybe waiting for him to peek Divider again, but won't see it. And Neofrag will creep a bit closer. 25 seconds.
Gonna move on, as you can see. Only 10 seconds. That bomb needs to be going down right now, and even with these trades, it's just not looking like it's gonna be enough. Trying to stick it in the smoke. The spam not stopping. Okay, but the USP should do it. It's a little bit of a shaky one. It takes longer than I would have liked, and again, they did concede the bomb plant, but either way, 7th round is gonna go the way of Sinners.
I was waiting to see Maka hit a quick fire no-scope there and somehow reposition for the possibility of the last frag though, but not to be. Overwhelmed. USP will spam him down. 3D Max, so they can get maybe 1 or 2 more on this T half. Last 2 rounds to be played. One of these 2, I think, I probably feel like that's not too bad.
On the op again here, meaning likely in their slow round. They had most of their success early on when they were willing to take a few more risks, I would say. And they've got a bit of a scoreline going. They've lost out on that economy that they had before. There's a bit of a buffer. Oh, and well, the flash in towards mid. Neofrag had been punished a couple of times for these mid peaks, never with the flash though, and never this late in the round either. As you can see, it was completely unexpected, and with the assistance of the op as well there from Oscar. 3D Max are left looking damn near hopeless.
He's sticking
Definitely
around
still-
as well.
Yeah, definitely still working towards it. Got a bit of time.
Oh. He's seen it. He's seen two. Oh, he was so desperate for that second kill, wasn't he? Maybe a little bit too desperate.
Yeah, it did backfire. No way.
Oh!
Okay, Oscar boosted up a spot above the bench, and Maka was bouncing around thinking he was all safe. And, well, no one's safe apparently right now because Oscar is ready. Quick 4K, actually. I was going to say 3K, only spotted 3 of them.
Yeah, only 3 on camera, 4 in total. Very nice from Oscar. It's funny, isn't it? We both of us have been speaking about players. I want to see them perform to give their team a chance. Well, we spoke about Oscar and Neofrag in map 1. They both played very well. We spoke about Jocko to step up in map 2. And, well, we want to see more of Jocko, right? He's 1 in 10. He's gone. He's missing. Someone put out a search warrant.
Yeah,
And that's not going to help.
keep my eyes peeled for Jocko. Hopefully he shows up before it's actually too late, because we're definitely starting to get towards that territory. Either way, things are just incredibly slow this game. Overpass can be fun when you have teams who are like, yeah, screw it, let's just do stuff. But 3D Max play incredibly slow and methodically, trying to take this map control, and Sinners realize that, so they just sit back and let 3D Max slowly take control with no resistance, but they use their nades anyway and take their time just to be sure.
We're about to see a brawl, Dean. 3 players ready and raring to go for Sinners, and 1 player long could be big. Let's see if that makes a difference. Ooh.
Unfortunately, just a single kill for Maka, all they're able to achieve. Either way, 9-3 is going to be a spectacular half for Sinners. Lucky might try and maybe get something done. No, if you went through this, Lucky perhaps could have stole that weapon up close.
You gotta hold W, brother. Not gonna happen. B-Stick puts him down. Great hold from Sinners. 9-3 CT half. Quick break. We'll see if they can close it out.
Alright, we are back, and well, so are Sinners after a poorer performance on the second map. Things have certainly turned tide here on Overpass, and 3D Max are going to need this pistol round to give themselves even an inch of hope in terms of being able to pull this back. Kevlar across the board, apart from Lucky, who, I don't know, must have used some utility early on, maybe?
Yeah, looks like it. There's no dualies dropped, so you'd think that's probably the case. Jocko will double his kills. Come on, Jocko. I'm an enjoyer of watching you play. I want to see you on form. Let's see how he looks. Well, I'll tell you how 3D Max will looksing. It's a tongue twister. They're hitting all their shots right now. Maka with 2. And AJT, otherwise known as Ite, is stuck. But he's still got another kill. Triple on the board. Will just get away as well. And he's got the bomb on his back.
I mean, 40 seconds though, what can he really do? Might just about make it over, but you can see by the time he gets there, you're already going to have a player in position. Such low health. Really isn't a ton to be done unless he gets instant headshots here again. Let's see. Can I manage to work a miracle?
Well, a plant is actually a minor miracle. And they are split right now. They are split right now! Right, Ite. Quad kill. Jocko. 1v1. No kit. Tap on the bomb. Ite will just hide. There's no reason to push forward just yet. Jocko, well, you'd think he'd check this corner. He does, and he clears him out. What an attempt that was. But the plant, it's definitely helpful. 4 kills. He'll be able to get an AK in play without a doubt. What an attempt, though. Great try.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. As you said, Joko just about edges it out, and he's been having a really tough performance himself, so to pick up such a crucial round here, Sinners is going to be important to him. Hopefully we'll alleviate a bit of that pressure and he can start to perform here, because they're going to need it, even with that round there being won.
Nade from Jocko. Flies through the hedge.
Avoiding damage completely, so
Yeah.
do have the door, I think, connector blown up once again so that they can eventually see the jump peak. Massive, not what you want for that, really, is it?
No. Not in particular. Jocko eventually having a rough game, though, but that doesn't really matter, right? If you can win a round single-handedly, pretty much. You got 2 really important kills. The one that closed it out, of course. Impact frags for Jocko.
Nice setup here on mid, though, as they try and come out through connector, as well as those mid steps. It started off fantastically for 3D Max, and well, it's still favourable, but I was going to say a couple of trades back and forth did give some questions. Doesn't have the bomb currently either, which is unfortunate.
This is unlikely when you have CT circling the bomb. Spotted out as well.
Yeah, there's nothing Oscar can do, to be honest. He's probably going to get sprayed through the smoke, because that's his luck. For now, though, not happening. Maybe he could get something.
Oh.
Yeah, never mind.
Wow.
The third player was gone anyway, but 2 kills still would have been good damage, considering they've got the round advantage still. So
Yeah. In the general, it was smart from 3D Max there to make sure the third player was completely away from the equation, because, you know, mad things have happened in the past. Round is guaranteed with that time on the clock and the bomb down. Oscar does his best and actually does pretty well. Not just to get one, but to hit the dink on the second. Unlucky not to get both, really, but... It limits the economy. Look what the buy they have. I know it's against an eco. So they'll be able to farm up the cash with the MP9 and the XM, but still.
Whoa!
Wow.
What is shotgun? Oh my god,
What?
he's not normal. He's gonna get a third. I can feel it. He is rolling right now. Here we go. He saw gravity. His head might be big enough right now, considering this aggression he's gone for, that he was actually pulling bullets towards it with gravity. As a 5-on-2 now takes place. Maka and Exercise to see what they can do to somehow salvage what should have been an unlosable round.
Exercise. Yeah, I mean, he pulled Bond back, if you remember, on Youth, right? In this situation, but, well, not this one. What did I say, like, before, even before we actually saw it happen, like, almost like a map and a half ago? Sinners and Deagles, man. And Shock. I've seen him do this so much. It is actually nuts. And those two in Connector, especially one on the jump spot, dirty.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. 3D Max hadn't really built up any economy either, so they're just screwed. Completely screwed. Sinners are going to be likely up against just a single rifle to get their 11th round already.
Terrorists win.
Yeah, that was absolutely heartbreaking for 3D Max. Single rifle, double eco on towards, what, 4 of the players?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That just...
that
is... It hurts if you're the French side. You got yourself in a position, I mentioned they only had the MP9 and the XM, right? But they had the chance to get some cash with that. That's why I led into the round, speaking about it in that way. You can never discount the Sinners Deagles, but that was one which looked, you know, maybe a 1 in 25 round. 1 in 20, something like that. Where Shock hits shots like that. Gorgeous from Shock. 17-7, IT 16-7 after his almost on the pistol round as well. Look at the buy 3D Max having this one. They're going to have 2 M4s still, but a Deagle with no armor, Gravity sacrificing himself to get his teammate on an M4. Lucky on a Scout. And they're just rushing B, I think.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet. Why not? The Mac 10s, especially up close, can be pretty solid. Okay, it's the Deagles again, this time for 3D Max that managed to pop off. What is going on? Fortunately, I was going to say Joko was kind of locked out on short. The nade came in, but no smokes or mollies left in play, sadly. But I actually do have a smoke and molly on Oscar, sorry. Just taking their time and not using it. Oscar, though, should have this flank, and well, the timing is a bit awkward as he takes out the molly, but at the very least, I was going to say Neofrag knows where it's coming from, but it is Maka. He already knew he was making a runner.
Yeah, very tight there for Neofrag. He can get a plant. That's actually a nice Molotov for Maka. It's not going to be in the perfect position that he'd want, but Neofrag's got the plant down. Maka doesn't actually know where he's positioned. Neofrag's just decided not to budge on truck. Of course, Maka definitely has the health advantage, but no kit. And of course, Maka has to clear out all these positions. He's looking back and forth, but Neofrag makes it happen. Wow. Double kill for him. And a tough situation in front of Sinners once again goes their way.
Yeah, now the question is, did they eco and try and play for the overtime, or what the hell did they do? Yeah.
You probably have to in this scenario now. 2k per player, that is the sort of eco level.
They get 2400, so they can just about scrape out the buy in the next round, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It was kind of up in the air, and they've decided on the eco in the end, but it means they're going to be fighting for an overtime. I'd also like to see Joko get to use his Zeus again.
Yeah, Gravity's got one as well, so... There's a world Macca's got an eagle. If Shot can do it, why can't Macca? Macca's having a good game. Unfortunately for 3D Max, not enough. Reminder. Oh, hello. Jocko gives it a go. Not this time. So reminder, winner of this game goes through to the playoff semi-finals. They skip a round. Loser has to go play for round 1. Looks like Sinners are going to be that team. 11-5 to 12-5 in a matter of 3 USPs. Near flag, check this angle. Gets a bit spooked. Mouse wheel jump. Happens to the best of us, but Gravity Zeus is denied, and he finds the last as well. Ever closer.
Sorry, we're getting a lot of pauses here. We are getting back into it now, but 3D Max needs 7 rounds in a row just for the overtime, and then there'd still be a ways to go to actually look towards victory. Either way, they've got what they can afford. FAMAS mixed in with this buy, a boost up here to try and get the initial kill, and that's going to alleviate a bit of pressure. B-Stick as well, who gets taken out. He's been playing a decent enough game. They just focus their attention towards long for now, and it's actually only Joko back on the bomb site, so if they did move quickly, then not much we could do.
Ooh. Some intel for Jocko. Fortunately for Sinners, their play up long will be telegraphed. And he goes straight through that smoke. Neofrag can't deal with Jocko, and Lucky helps out as well. Maybe that smoke is perhaps a little bit overzealous there from Sinners. They want this game done and dusted, don't they? And that's a little bit of a rush, perhaps, from them.
Yeah, definitely rushed. As you said, the time it's getting towards now, just knowing that they're only a single round away, they thought they could get it done.
Some damage here would be nice for Sinners. Got a bit of cash, a little bit, quite a lot actually. Ike will be pushing forward. Unfortunately, the crossfire for 3D Max on site is absolutely perfect. So if they get away through this, well, I mean, that is an idea. But Exercise will manage to take it. So now it's down to Oscar, and he will absolutely be saving his AWP. He will, and they'll be able to buy comfortably against Sinners in the following round. But 3D Max have a lifeline. Unfortunately, they need 6 in a row.
Yeah, halfway there. I mean, gotta look on the bright side, find some sort of a silver lining, you know, all the cliches.
Yeah.
But yeah, one round at a time.
Have to get the
Better
casting cliches off a reel, right? Off a list, one by one.
Exactly. I have a notepad just full of cliches that I work with.
I actually have like a sticky note on my computer with tons of phrases, like not actual like cliches, but like comments that I want to use at the right moment one day.
Yeah.
Like good phrases.
Players specifically and teams specifically, is it?
Yeah.
Fair. Oh, the timing. Will he get a wall bang? No shots being sent off. Boost again. We've already seen it have success recently, so I don't think they're going to fall for it again if they do move in this direction. Macca through the smoke. I don't think he's seeing anything. He shot through, got shock. Well, open, and they might try and follow up, though. You can see the second player. They could potentially finish this push in, but no, it's not going to happen. Never mind. Sinners are getting torn apart once again. 3D Max in a 5-on-3 already.
It's seeming pretty difficult now to try and close it out on this visit. Only 2 on site though. That could be sure they're playing a bait setup on barrel, but there's a world in which you can maybe trade those 2 kills for 1 death, get an after plant, 2v3, changes things slightly.
I mean, they need to try something crazy or else just go straight up for the save. I think the save might
Yeah,
be
it's
the way
gonna be
to
a
go.
save, sadly.
Neofrag can drop one, and well, they could actually just buy for themselves as well, the other two. So either way, they're going to be fine. 12-7. I mean, as we said, one round at a time. It's slowly ticking its way upwards. Got 5 more opportunities here for Sinners to close things out.
Well, if there's one situation for 3D Max where they can make a massive comeback like this happen, it is CT Overpass.
Yeah.
It is MR12. It's not exactly the most difficult streak in the world. But of course, no mistakes can be afforded. That is the problem. Nothing can be let through. First 2 maps were run-overs pretty much, as we saw. This is the closest of the 3 so far. Shock. We'll see 1. Be aware that there's 2. That is the problem. He most certainly is not. He goes for his swing and gets punished.
Yeah, I mean, they're just not playing off of each other anymore because they had such a great start to this game. They had so much success. You can see that they're maybe a little bit overconfident at this point. Same there to be said for Maka, perhaps, as he peeked in toward mid. Got his face ate off. Either way, a 4-on-4 with just over 50 seconds. Sinners need to come to a decision soon about what they're going to do, and well, with a player nearly creeping onto that A-bomb site already, that might be the direction they head in.
I mean, Neofrag was gifted 1 frag in response, right? And actually, they've chosen very much correctly here. There's a chance for a plant. They've locked 3D Max behind the bank smoke. Got Neofrag close. More HE damage coming in as well. Lucky and Exercise both chunked down. This is now very difficult for 3D Max to work their way back into. This could be Sinners getting it over the line. Kind of strange fashion, actually. Neofrag goes for the spray transfer. Only gets 1, but B-Stick finds 1 too, so it keeps it even. Oscar on the line, waiting. Gun barrel spotted, but there are 2 players crossing. And he misses the flick. He's now under a lot of pressure, and he gets taken out. Ite tries to finish off the game for his team. Gravity down. He's not knowing, of course, whether he's found the defusing player. Now he knows there's 1 more on the bomb, but the Glock has to come out. And it should be a defuse for Jocko. Oh, my goodness. By an absolute gnat's whisker. 3D Max are still in the game.
He probably could have managed to get the reload in as well, maybe, rather than the Glock spam. It might have just about clinched it for him. I mean, either way, it was risky, but yeah, sadly that doesn't pay off. Going for the wild Glock spam into the smoke. 4 more chances to close it out, but it really should have been done by this point, so Sinners are definitely kicking themselves. Either way, the buys continue on both sides.
That was close. Not the first time I've seen Sinners in a really close defuse on that site, actually.
Yeah.
In the one game we did at some point last year.
Another very slow round play now. Neither team wanting to give even an inch in the beginning of any of these rounds, especially 3D Max. They need to walk a very thin line between being aggressive and unpredictable and also just not making any mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, Overpass kind of does play out this way these days. And you were right earlier, right, about Sinners very happily giving up 1v1 duels, just kind of walking into angles. They've kind of fallen off a little bit from playing that team-based system. Thankfully, in the last round, and in this one, they've been given a lifeline and a recovery kill into a 4v4. But often, no reason.
Yeah, just feck all the time, though.
Yeah, that is very Irish of you.
Yeah, it's not a curse, right? FEK. I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, it's you're not exactly wrong either. 20 seconds. Let's see if the game ends here and now for Sinners.
going to be down to the brawl that happens. Okay, Beastick with the initial kill. There's a player on the ramp, though, as the flash took 8 out of contention for a moment. 8, I couldn't say his name.
4 seconds! 4 seconds!
With a nade. It's done. It doesn't matter. He couldn't do anything. That is horrible. As I was trying to get 8's name out of my mouth.
Oh, well,
and he's
this is unreal, mate.
Eat the loss.
This is unreal. That's 2 rounds in a row now. A literal 0. I don't know, 10, 0.010 second defuse, and now a nade which denies the plant with 4 seconds to go. Sinners, they're gonna be kicking themselves here. This is getting a bit spooky now. The money's starting to drop lower. 3D Max are only 3 behind. Wow.
Quadruple overtiming.
I mean, it would be the way the gods work, wouldn't it? You're all super tired. I'm feeling a bit ill, but listen.
Yeah.
All good. We
So
power
I
through.
heard the click and the pause was indeed removed. So
Yeah.
we'll get back into this now. Let's see if 3D Max still have it in them again. So many moments here it looks where they might have made their final mistake, and yet they managed to claw it back. And not necessarily because Sinners are making loads of mistakes. They are definitely making some, as I said, especially early round. They're taking a lot of individual peaks without the chances for trades. But in those later rounds where it's chaotic and such, it's crazy, and it's just 3D Max showing up when it's necessary.
Be funny if this is the round that Sinners somehow find a way to win. Counter-Strike does have ways of working like that, doesn't it? Little boost towards short. Ike spots his prey. Exercise down. That's a way to make it work. And look at this. Neofrag spots one on long. Oh, the timing. No way. He catches one as well. Oh,
No.
my goodness. He had a chance on both, but he takes neither. Oscar still found one in the meantime, though. And Gravity gets caught up by Ike. That's opened up B. And Oscar's still lurking on A as well, really. It's a very weird round. Split across the map. Picks coming in everywhere. Sinners don't really know a plan until the kills come through. It feels. Oscar Jocko leaps his way forth, trying to not get caught on the door angle, crossing down on. This is now so difficult for 3D Max. They've clawed it back a couple of times already, but Oscar is behind. Oh, only a leg shot. This is ridiculous stuff. 25 seconds. Jocko tagged up, but Lucky is still here. They're trying to close down for the kills, and there we go. It's now all Lucky. And surely, in the open, this is not possible. He finds one, takes a dink, now they can just triple swing him, and Shock finishes it off. Wild end to this map. A defuse with absolutely no time left on the clock, a nade denying, a bomb plant in the last second, and almost a recovery at the end there from 3D Max again, but not this time. Sinners finally get it over the line, and they are going through to the semi-finals of playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the road either for 3D Max. They're going to go into that lower bracket, as we had said, but it means they have an extra best of 3 that they're going to need to win if they want to make their way back up and have a shot at competing in that grand final. So it's a little bit disappointing, especially with what looked like it could have been an incredible comeback building itself up.
Yeah, it looked possible, didn't it? It actually looked possible, because sometimes those close rounds, which are kind of wacky, kind of wild, they go your way and it can snowball. It can snowball for you and absolutely snowball the opposite way for the opponent as well. So, yeah, it was a great attempt from 3D Max to make that recovery, to fight that hard but not to be. Reminder, of course, it's not like they're eliminated even after losing. They just go through to round 1 of playoffs instead, and Sinners get that to bypass that round 1 and go straight through to the semis of playoffs. So they're ever closer to the possibility of maybe getting through to Pro League for Season 20 as well. So, very exciting for them. I believe we can have a quick look at the stats for Oscar as well. He was our player to watch for this entire series. Once again, had a pretty important couple of rounds and a couple of nice kills on this map. We can see it there. Over the course of the entire series, I believe we've got kills there for Oscar. He goes 42 and 30 for his team. KD of 1.4. Very nice for him. I think ADR is a little bit messy there, but everything else seems about right. He played really well, and it's a deserved win for Sinners.
Yeah, I mean, agreed. Just barely. It did seem like they wanted to throw that final map away towards the end, but obviously they didn't let that happen, and that's the main thing. A win is a win. So, yeah, I guess congratulations. They're moving on to the semi-finals, but they've still got quite a bit of hard work to do, and I don't think it's really going to get any easier in these last few games.
No, absolutely not. I mean, there's plenty of teams involved, of course. Koi have just made it through against Rush B. They're going to be in the semi-finals as well. Because there's still two lower bracket high seed group matches going on, I believe. Right now, Aurora versus Paravision, that's on the main broadcast. And Nine Pandas versus Saw is being covered by a community broadcaster, I believe, as well. Paravision are currently 9-7 up in a third map decider against Aurora. So remove the B from the top of your screen, go to ESL CS and catch that matchup. For now, though, we are done on the B stream for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Hope you have a nice evening. Sleep well, and good night.